Hello, citizens of Gotham. You are watching The Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood, and I'm here to talk to you about the values and importance of being a warmongering centrist. This is oh shit! I got the wrong copy. I got the wrong script.
I was gonna say that's next week's seminar.
We got a new sponsor, Raytheon, and so we're gonna
pay the bills.
Yeah, we're gonna just talk about how great war is.
Use the promo code China as soon as possible at checkout.
God. Oh, God. Hashtag permanent state. We're really big fans of the intelligence community now. So I think it's good that they're not voted in or out of office and they can stay there forever. What do you think?
They can stay there forever, and with Wix, they can make their own website, which brings us to the next...
next sponsor. Oh, God. That's so great. Well, hello, Jesus, Cake.
Yeah, not funny, Jesus. He said there was no sound.
There's no sound?
Oh,
Just
there's
kidding.
no sound?
Oh, God, no, not funny. No, Sydney. Sydney, Chris, always be plugging, Tony, yeah. So he's saying no sound because...
Yeah, didn't you do that once?
Oh, I just started talking... Here comes Fee. You cannot come in. It's open. No?
No, it might be locked.
Oh, did it lock?
Wow, somebody locked the door.
Oh, man, things are going haywire.
Wow, it's all falling apart.
Fiorella is here.
Hi, Fee. Can you see?
We're live on the internet.
We're live on the internet.
Yeah.
This is the high-tech world of... see, there's cables moving. This is the exciting world. There's Fee. You all right?
It's like super high for me. I'm small.
They are high chairs.
Yeah.
They are high chairs.
I struggle with them, too.
Yeah, you feel me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel ya.
Well, welcome to the Political Vigilante podcast. Joining us is obviously Ron Placone from Get Your News On with Ron.
Howdy, everybody.
And a show called The James Duray Show, I believe. I'm not
I think
familiar
it's
with it.
Jimmy Dory, I think.
I don't know. I don't trust the Irish. But
Yeah.
And then Fiorella
Hi, how are
from
you
Convo
guys?
Couch.
We just got done with 3 shows, so.
Oh my God.
This is my
You've
first
been
show.
hustling.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
you hustle hard.
Hustler.
And thank you for saying yes to doing this.
Of course. Yeah, I didn't expect we would have 3 shows, but that's just how it works out.
Right on. Just welcome Lori Mountain Gal Pal. Deborah
Lori.
Bo. Hello. Yeah, Patrick Bellinar. Glenn Greenwald got Assange. Yeah, absolutely. Chuck Katie, what has Graham done to make America great outside of spend your donations? Yeah, that's what it is. That's all I do. I just spend your donations and I spend it on
Vegan smoothies.
vegan smoothies, right? Yeah, that's what I do. I just sell myself out. Tony DeMeo, can you shave your knuckles for justice, Tony? Does this lighting seem kind of weird and dark? When I lean over, it gets like dark. It gets like Halloween-y. Like, hello. Welcome to the Political Vigilante Bat Cave. So I'll just try to lean
Time
back.
for campfire ghost stories.
Greta, one time, Big Green haunted your house, Greta.
They were in the attic all along, Greta.
They were
Where soot was keeping them alive.
Big Green's in the house, Greta. They're in the house.
Do you want Steve Mnuchin making fun of you forever, Greta?
Oh, God.
That guy. What a guy.
Okay. Welcome to the Political Vigilante, folks. Let's talk about our good friend Steve Mnuchin for making fun of Greta. First of all, let's just find what he said here. I was going through some other clips today, but I really want to find what Steve Mnuchin said.
And then I think when everybody was disgusted, he was all like, it was a joke. Come on.
What did I say?
It was a joke.
What did I...
Don't you like me? I'm a great guy. I kick people out of their homes. I benefit from the fossil fuel industry, and I troll 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
I'm a winner. Steve Mnuchin.
Is it...
I pick on a child.
Oh, I love picking on teenage girls.
Yeah, what a guy.
Let's bring this on the big board here. The right keeps attacking Greta Thunberg's identity, not her ideas.
She doesn't have a degree.
Yeah, well, it's not just the right, Vox. Let's be real clear here. When she doesn't toe the neoliberal line, they go after her pretty hard, too.
Yeah.
Obviously, the right does because the right's a little more invested in climate change denial. They've received a little more money from it. But the left is sort of like climate change vagueness. They won't deny it, but they'll say things like, we need to raise gas mileage standards and carbon offsets and other plans that would have been great in 1982.
Right.
I think Granny Petrol's a centrist.
So here's what he said.
Both sides make great points.
Oh yeah. There's two sides to clement change.
We need to reach across the aisle, Greta.
Yes, bipartisan support.
Everybody's your friend.
The latest member of the Trump administration attacked a 17-year-old who spent her adolescence calling adults to account for their failure to act on climate change. Asked by a reporter at the World Economic Forum in Davos whether the climate policies Thunberg advocates would hinder U.S. economic growth, Mnuchin answered, is she the chief economist or who is she? I'm confused.
Crickets.
Oh, it's a joke, he went on. After she goes and studies economics in college, she can come back and explain that to us. Hey, little girl, go study books. That's obviously demeaning. It's everything.
It's going to make her into an oil tycoon if she goes and studies books, I'm sure. I'm sure that'll change her whole perspective on everything, right?
Well, actually, there's some truth to that in the sense that I don't want her to go to a college because they will fill her with all these neoliberal, ridiculous ideas, you know?
Well, it depends on
she's a
what she
little
studies.
smart.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't
Swedish.
trust our college as
She's
much.
Swedish, though.
She's Swedish.
She's smart. So
She's very smart. So she got a good education,
Yeah.
not one like our major universities that get money from the
Indoctrinated.
CIA and all those type of things. But let's
See, I have a theory they should just make one business school. It should just be like the National Business School, and you go there, and then everything else is somewhere else.
just the national
Just the
business school.
National Business School.
You know, of course, Trump said, a very happy young girl looking forward to a bright and wonderful future. And then anyone that collides with them, all of a sudden Trump and others. Now, we know Vox is very much of a, become a neoliberal, you know, so all it's going to do is say Trump bad and Fox News is bad, and it will never call out the complete lies of the Democrats and the mainstream media. But the thing I want to talk about, though, in addition to Steve Mnuchin, is just, he's a jackass. Mm-hmm. And we know this. I know this. He backed, he was the head of One West Bank. He donated to Kamala Harris's attorney general campaign. She had all the evidence to convict him, like literally put him in jail and really hold One West Bank accountable. Like they should have not only given back billions of dollars in federal tax money that was given to them by Bush and Obama. They also should have, like Mnuchin and other people should have been in prison, and then of course they didn't. Kamala said there wasn't enough to prosecute.
Yeah.
She always has a hard time prosecuting the rich. She can do it with poor people.
Oh, she's a big fan of that.
Yeah, she always has enough. There's always enough evidence to put a poor person in jail. And of course, he donated to her senatorial campaign. She was elected. And then she approved him as Secretary of Treasury, just to kind of give just something that Vox had to happen to leave out.
They didn't mention that.
I'm scrolling through it. They didn't seem to mention any of that
Weird.
stuff. It's I can't find any of it in there. It's really puzzling.
It's weird.
Yeah, why? If they're talking about Steve Mnuchin, why wouldn't they give a history on him instead of talking about how Trump was a jerk? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this is a great thing. So Greta responded, my gap year ends in August, but it doesn't take a college degree in economics to realize that our remaining 1.5 carbon budget and ongoing fossil fuel subsidies and investments don't add up. Which, this is great. She
Drops mic.
This is the peaked in 2000. A 3% annual fall would be enough to stay below. And then she just basically this graph showing what every scientist keeps saying. Every prediction keeps getting, it's always worse than they thought. So this is fantastic. But this thing just keeps going because it just keeps getting worse, the environment, the more we talk about it. And that's why there's a doomsday clock.
And it's higher than it ever has.
It's higher than it ever has been. And
It's closer to midnight.
It's closer to midnight. And Dr. Jill
And
Stein.
not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Not in the like, that's when the party starts. It's after midnight. Not like that.
Party over,
Bad
oops,
way.
out of time. Well, actually, that one song's more accurate. But so the thing I do want to address, though, and Steve Mnuchin's an idiot, obviously, and attacking Greta is so ridiculous, but is her going to Davos to talk to a bunch of billionaires, is that productive? Because she has created this grassroots movement. She's very powerful now, and that's why they keep attacking her. But shouldn't she be doing something? And again, I'm not in the I'm not trying to smear or attack Greta. I mean, I got mad respect for her. And I saw her speak, but would it be a better use of her time rather? Because this is what happens when you talk to these billionaire assholes. They just pat you on the head and go back to school, little girl. Here's a cookie, because they're jackasses and they've profited from this. And you can't shame assholes at Davos. No. They don't give a shit. They don't care at all. They are just soulless assholes who have made a huge profit from this. So would it be a better use of time for Greta to take her, tens of millions of followers and say, let's do some real change. Let's just become cities now. And some countries have said, we're going off fossil fuels. We're going carbon neutral. Is it a better use of her time? And now she has so much influence to do something more just like a direct action.
I would say yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because, just the whole method that it all happens from the ground up.
Right.
These millionaires and billionaires, the reality of the situation, like you said, they're just going to condescend to someone like her, or even if it was an adult who's talking about the urgent need for climate action. They respond to one language, and that's the language of business. So when you have a grassroots movement where cities are making their own decisions to go carbon neutral and what have you, that's increasing this demand for better behavior from these companies. They can't get away with the stuff they've gotten away with in the past. So instead, they need to think about how are we going to invest in a new kind of renewable energy. That's the only language they respond to. I forget which CEO it was, but there was one CEO who started talking about how, I'm taking the financial incentives. Like, it was an investor who said, I'm going to take the financial incentives away from oil and gas, and my financial incentives now are going to be in renewables. These people are only so trustworthy, so proceed with caution. But the reality of the situation is that's the language that we need to hear more of for the business people, because that's what they respond to, and that's the only thing they respond to.
I think that might be her tactic, or the Sunrise Movement, or, the climate strike activists' tactic, though, too, is to get these business people, maybe perhaps get these billionaires interested via the fact that you can make a great business and money off of renewables and off of new green technology. And he's right. That's how you get these people's attention, because they don't respond to empathy or some sort of heartstring reasoning. They just respond to business numbers, data. And in a way, like saying, hey, if you invest in this, it's going to make you wealthy. And I see that tactic, but I agree with Ron that change happens from the bottom up. If you are expecting elites and billionaires to start enacting change on climate change, we're just going to die. We have to start at a local level. And there are a lot of people running for local office that have realized that, that when they focus on the federal level, it's just so slow to change. You can do so much as a city council person, as a congressperson, to just push in your local city and in your state to small little changes that help with the climate crisis. So
yeah, and the thing I would add to those is I agree it's on a local level, but specifically Greta needs to, I think, utilize this very big she has a lot of sway. And if she said to all these teenagers, boycott fill in the blank, stop giving your money to Amazon, or don't join the military, or don't join the intelligence community, or gave this list of actions, that's that would hurt all these bottom lines that you two were talking about, because that it's absolutely, we obviously know this. Let's just talk about Amazon for a second, just in terms of, or McDonald's or whatever. So yes, some top-down legislation to force Amazon to unionize their workers would all be great. But if 100 million people said, I'm not using Amazon anymore until you I'm not going to Whole Foods. I'm not using Amazon Prime. I'm not doing any of your products or services until you unionize. Everybody, I bet you Amazon would change its tune very quickly. So that's the thing that I think one of the direct action of local politicians and like getting, Greta should say, like, get all of your local cities, 100 million kids that are following me around the world, get all of your cities to go carbon neutral, to get off of fossil fuel, to divest right now. Demand it. Demand your high school, put solar panel, whatever. Demand your college, and start taking some more like direct action, because again, the billionaire, and also too, I think if you are going to go to Davos, and I don't know the extent of Greta's speech and what she said, but I think that's a good tactic, regardless of what she just said at this of saying, hey, you'll make X amount of billions of profit with renewable.
Yeah, I mean, we have to see a policy change because, Amazon and all these other companies who have F ratings for the environment, Walmart, Amazon, list goes on and on. They're not just going to change out of the goodness of their heart. They're not going to do that. So it's like, we need to have a swift policy change where they can't get away with these things and the profit motive is gone because they can't do it anymore. And if city after city after city, like you guys are saying, passes their own version of a Green New Deal, commits to get off fossil fuels, well, then all of a sudden that adds up to a lot of places in the country. And that's going to, so then you're going to see policy follow suit on the federal level.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, 100% agree. Everything's been said. I mean, it has to come from the people at the bottom. And I think also, since she is a young teenager, she can appeal a lot via like new social media mechanisms. Also, like the TikTok thing. I don't know if you guys know about it. It's it's like where people like do like weird little voices, little memes, but like videos. And they'll do like
People
of
are
the
doing activism with that.
They're
like,
doing
big time.
activism. So
How
they'll do
so?
like a joke, and then they'll put like a text like the U.S. has invaded 25 countries in the last 10 years.
Yeah, they'll make it out
It's
like they're just
really,
like
really good idea.
dancing, and then they'll, God, I feel like such a boomer right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
It's hard to
the
explain.
kids are doing this thing where they're dancing
Kids
on a
these days.
video.
Oh, with hula hoops, and
There's
I don't.
cameras on their phones. And they're using it to create
Memes.
this stuff.
Yeah.
No, but like it's like they're doing a dance.
Rock and roll music has
That's the Gen
got to
Z.
go.
We're old. We're millennials. That's the Gen Z.
No, like they'll do a little thing where and then there'll be a little bubble that'll be like we're at war with 8 different countries, and they'll like point to it and then like keep dancing. It's really neat. With some of these,
And it's
they
really
are
short-
younger people
short
that are
videos.
doing it.
Yeah.
It's like a more politically in tune Vine almost.
Yeah.
If you,
wow.
if you
Exactly
remember
what it
Vine
is.
when that was around.
Well, that's what should be done then. I mean, that needs to be, and the thing, we saw Greta speak at the climate strike in Los Angeles, and one of the things that was so impressive to me was the amount of teenagers, not just the amount of them, but then all of it was almost all teenagers that spoke before her.
Yeah.
They were all very critical of the Democratic Party. They weren't just like, well, I live in California. My parents are blue. So am I. They were like, Gavin Newsom, you keep opening up, gas and coal powered plants and all. They were just on point of like, nah, we don't trust this part. Like,
Oh man, when we were in Iowa City and we saw Bernie speak, we were in Iowa City, college town, so it was on the University of Iowa's campus. So it was all college kids who spoke before Bernie went up, and they were all, none of them were just like, we got to defeat Trump and that's it. I mean, Trump was barely brought up at all. What they were talking about was like, we got to do something about this, Dad. We got to do something about the planet that we're going to call home. And no politicians are speaking for us, except for Bernie. He has plans for this stuff. It was, the young people, they want solutions. They want policies. They're not all that interested in what's next to your name, what letters next to your name.
no, they want direct action. They want something that's going to get, because they've actually seen it. Like you said, they've seen social media affect change. Probably on a local level, they saw somebody, say or do something offensive, and some teacher got pulled out, or whatever. Like somebody in power, and it was like, nope, you're done. And so they're like, we got to get this done. And so I really would like to see Greta. And not that she isn't, but just I would like to see, this is a suggestion, not a like, go back to school, little girl, but like I would like to see her lead more direct actions that circumvent the power structure that we have that just it doesn't give a shit.
I mean, I think overall that's what she's doing.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's like, but yeah, I'm totally with you.
It's worth noting that there's establishment politicians and institutions that are trying to co-opt her
Of
movement.
course,
yes.
So we also have to be worried about that. That's why it has to be like ground up instead.
Well, that's a great point. You and I said something when we watched her speak. I remember we were impressed and we were both asking questions like, who are the adults around her?
Yeah.
And when she came on stage, people treated her like a rock star, and it was impressive, the speech we gave, but we both went, man, that's too much for a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
That is a lot. It's not just like fame, like she's a pop star. I mean, it's like,
There's a lot of responsibility on your
yes,
shoulders.
there's parents bringing their 7-year-old daughter to, and and they're all like looking up to her, and it's like, so, and of course, you're right, Fee, all of these establishment people are they'll try to either go, they realize that if I smear her, then I'm going to take a bunch of flack like Mnuchin just did, or I'll be lumped into like when Trump said something dumb, like she should just watch movies or whatever. He says something dumb every 5 minutes, but like, then you see these opportunists who are like, well, we need to, you know, like I'm sure Dianne Feinstein would love to like have Greta on her team, even though Dianne Feinstein, you know, condescends to Girl Scouts, you know. Just what that's her record. So
I just imagine Dianne Feinstein eyeing Greta up, seeing how she'd work out in a stew. Just like... But no, did you ever like
boiling trouble?
Did you ever have like one of those, and I'm sure we all have, like you have that moment in your life as you're growing up where, and maybe it's like an immature family member you have, or just like somebody you know, whatever it is, where all of a sudden one day you realize, okay, I know that this person is an adult compared to me because they've had more birthdays than I have. But that's the only thing that makes them a grown-up. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder, Greta has had to have had that moment many times over already.
Oh,
in her
I think she had. I think that's
All
what
the time.
Yeah, I think that's what
Constantly she has
catapulted
that
her
moment.
into the thing of like. I remember being like in high school. It was around high school-ish, where I remember saying like, well, just because this person is an adult doesn't mean they're right. It just means they've been an idiot longer.
Right, exactly.
Intelligence isn't equal wisdom.
Right.
Yeah. So
you know?
it was like, I remember I said that to my dad, who was a college professor, and he started laughing. He's like, oh, yeah, man. You know, he goes, I know people with all these big degrees, but they're just morons. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I did start to kind of know more than, because when you're a kid, you're told, listen to the adults, listen to the adults. And then when you see adults start being, it was like high school, you started seeing adult teachers and, you know, like some of them you had respect for and some of you went, wait a minute.
Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, that's bullshit.
This is, okay. I mean, I guess I'll listen to you because I have to.
Yeah, but
wow.
I don't respect you at all.
At all.
And that's what makes some of them so mad, is she
Yeah.
just goes to the UN or whatever and goes, you're murdering us. You know, our world's on fire, you dumb old people. It's your fault. And, well, I'm you know, I'm glad she posted this really just statistically based science thing. Just is her response, her tweets are so on point, because she clearly does not give a shit.
No.
And any of the adults that are trying to push her in that direction or co-opt her or whatever, if she isn't completely aware of it now, which I would imagine she might be, she's going to be pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
And she's going to be like, enough. I've been on the stage since I was 15. Back it up. You know, like, she's going to be an old pro come age 20, 21.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's going to see through these people. So,
what do you think she'll do? Like, do you think she'll ever run for office? Like, what do you think she might do?
I don't know. I think, she understands that how much the clock is with posts like this. She understands the clock is ticking, and I don't. I think, just from what she says and how she carries herself, that she's like, this is me playing nice. And she's really quick to going, all right, kids, stop, everybody, shut everything down. Like she's gonna and that's the fear of the people in power. Why they're either smearing her or trying to co-opt her, is they know if she's gonna go to the UN and not go, this is my school assignment. You know, she's like, you guys are murdering the planet. She's like, no nonsense, talks tough. That she's pretty soon gonna go, I'm gonna read off the names and addresses of all the oil executives, and we're gonna go start stinking out in front of their house. Like they're worried she's gonna start doing that, because if whatever she says, there's gonna be millions of kids around the world that are gonna go, oh fuck it, Greta told me we don't go to school anymore.
That would be amazing.
Greta said none of us are buying cars. Like, and that's what they're worried about. That's why they're trying to pull her, you know, into Granny Petrol's fake fireplace.
We're just going to give you a show on the CBC called All of the Above on Energy.
Liz Warren's co-host on greening up the military.
We'll give you lots of money, Greta, and expensive pantsuits.
Well, they're so funny. They've tried to just buy her like a dumb teenager. Like, do you want new clothes, Greta, instead of going on a tour? And she's just like, no, you guys have murdered the planet, and I don't have a future. I'm not going to see my 40th birthday. So
she doesn't care about anything else. I mean, I don't want to like speak for her, but I mean, like, this is her priority. It's very
based on
clear.
what she says publicly. That's an accurate assumption, I think. Because she really gets it. She woke up when she was 14 or 15 and went, what? She didn't read the statistics and go, wow, someone should do something about that. And here's the selfie. She went, no, I'm done. And she just went, I'm done. Like that. And when you get to a place of I'm done, that's a dangerous place for the powerful.
Oh, yeah.
The last person you ever want to be in any type of fight with is someone that doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Who does not care.
But she might not able to resist this lifetime supply of butterscotch from Werther's. Greta!
Don't you want to go to a dance with a boy, Greta?
That's a good one.
All right. Well, let's talk to some of the fine people here on the live stream. 338 watching. Please hit the like button, everybody. And we want to welcome everybody here. And thank you, Action for Assange Taylor, for being the moderator. Some people are like, Graham, last time you mentioned the moderating rules. And I mentioned the moderating rules, and we had less trolls. So here they are again, everybody. If you can argue, you can disagree with each other, you can disagree with me. If you advocate for violence, you're gone. If you start like, you shut up, idiot, dummy, you're dumb, insulting, you're gone. If you post the same thing like 50 times in a row, that just bugs the shit out of me. And
That's
so
annoying.
You're annoying. And some people are like, Graham, you're supposed to be a freedom of speech person. Freedom of speech does not mean you get to be an annoying fuckstick. Because, like, let me tell you something. If you burst into this studio right now, just being, I'm not going to go, let him have their freedom of speech. I'm going to go, get the fuck out of here, asshole. I'm trying to have a live stream with a couple of communists.
The First Amendment's not a thing so that you can be an asshole on a message board. Like, that's not, that's not.
Here's what your First Amendment right is. You can go on social media and say, I don't like Graham. I don't like his live stream. I don't, whatever.
I don't like his shirt.
I don't like his shirt. I don't like vegan smoothies. I think coal is good for you, like Granny Petrol. Those are things.
I hate Granny Petrol.
You can say those things if you want. I don't agree with those things. That's your First Amendment. But like at a comedy club, if someone starts heckling, we'll make fun of them a couple times. If they never shut the fuck up, they're ruining the show for everybody that paid money. And so we kick them out eventually. So here we want to have a political discussion and even debate on issues from a progressive point of view. If you don't know how to conduct yourself in that way, then kindly, with my own First Amendment, go fuck yourself. Okay? How's that sound? So there's Graham.
And rant.
And
that was very passionate.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that rant? So somebody wrote boycott corporate greed. Oh, stop going after the corporations. They're our friends.
They're people just like you and me. If you brick a corporation, does it not bleed?
No, it doesn't.
It bleeds oil.
It doesn't breathe. That's the whole point.
It bleeds stock options, Graham.
when my stock price drops, Ron, I cry just like anyone else. Do you think Steve Mnuchin doesn't have a heart? He's mad. He's hurt.
He's a person.
He's a person. That's why he flew in a private jet at the taxpayer's dime to go to Davos. And then berate a 16-year-old. Wow, classy act. All right, Tony DeMeo, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Can you recommend books that expose the FBI?
Ooh.
The JFK, the latest one we're reading, it's the Unspeakable, JFK and the Unspeakable. That one talks about
or something.
What?
Who are you reading this with?
Oh,
you said
the Convo Couch.
Oh, you
Johnny
guys,
Sue.
You guys
and,
read books together?
well, he got it, and so we're all reading it.
Do you guys do popcorn? How does that work? Like Pasta reads a paragraph?
Pasta's not reading this book.
Oh,
He's
Pasta's
excluded.
not in it.
No,
Oh.
sorry.
Pasta got kicked out of the book club on his own show.
What did he do?
How did he pull that off?
Because he starts every show with saying, "I'm a civil liberties guy," and every time he says that, I look over and I'm like, we know, Pasta, you say it every show. So that's why he's kicked out. No, it's a really good book. It talks about the CIA and the assassinations of JFK, MLK, and talks about just how it's all about when you go after the military-industrial complex and the CIA.
Yes.
That's when they can use it. It's a really good book. Tulsi Gabbard was reading it, actually.
Oh, that's good. Ron, any of those?
Not about that topic specifically. I just got finished reading the book Debt, which is it was recommended to me by the MMT professors that we met in
right.
Australia.
Yeah, Stephen Hale.
It's heavy. I enjoyed it, but it took me a minute. I mean, it was 400 pages, and it was a heavy, like not one page fucked around, man. Like it was heavy stuff. But it explained the history of basically how money came to be and how capitalism affected that and profit. And it's kind of eye-opening. It was a great read.
All right. We'll check that out. Chris, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice, thank you. Dudist Priest.
Sup?
That's a great handle.
Yes.
Let's see. Shit and 18 didn't get a notice that you were going live. At least it wasn't 30 like Convo Couch earlier today. Yeah, the only thing I can say is hit the subscribe button, even if you have multiple times, because YouTube unsubscribes people. Hit the bell notification button. They still might not. And the way I always say, if you follow me on Twitter, at Graham Elwood, and at Graham Elwood on Instagram, I always announce there. And I do every Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific, and I did announce on that live stream that I was going to do this one on Thursday, so I'll try to announce these bonus ones during the week a little sooner if I can, but that's the best I can give you because we're all at the mercy of YouTube doing whatever they want to do. Keith M., Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Greta, you may be on the cover of Time, but call me when you've walked on the moon. The Apollo missions were glorious pillars of fiery oil.
That's good.
Glorious pillars of fiery oil.
Oh my God.
Beautiful prose.
Wow.
Well
Beautiful.
done.
Thank you. Any Granny Petrol fan art, I'm all for. Any Granny Petrol.
We have to reach out to that actress.
No.
Just be like,
We just need to shoot some we just need to get a bad gray wig and a fake fireplace, and we'll both play her. That's what we need to do. Ron, you and I just need to get her outfit, a version of her outfit.
yeah.
And sit in front of a green screen, because that's where she was, not a real fireplace.
Oh, totally. It was a green screen. And we need some accessories, too. I'm thinking flask for sure, and then we'll come up with some other ones, too.
Let's seriously, you and I have been talking about this, and I've wanted to do this. We gotta I have all these political sketch short film ideas that I want to put on this channel. They're so fun to do. They take a little more work, as it obviously, oddly enough, but let's do that. Let's do that. I don't want to find that woman because I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to know what she has to say.
I'd be curious. So look, it was just an acting gig, all right? I just wanted
That
the
would
credit.
be fantastic. If she
I'm
was
actually a big climate advocate.
I needed my union insurance. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I actually really appreciate it because I don't want my real name floating around with this, but people just Granny Petro, that's the character. I'm happy.
That's great.
I'm happy.
I wear a wig in public. Nobody knows me. It's great. That'd be awesome. That would be fantastic. Mberg 33, what's up? Speaking of Greta, to quote Max Bailey Stock when referring to Allah, God bless Sweden.
It's true.
That's right. She just said it a lot. Jackie Pago. Thank you, Jackie.
What's
Keep
up?
fighting the good fight. Fee, Ron, and Graham. Thank you so much. Hold on, it jumped. Andrew Dwyer, boom. If you had the power to structurally change how the mainstream media functions, what would you do to make it more in touch with the people? Fee,
Abolish it. Nationalize, broadcasting, nationalize media. Like, let everybody have their, get paid, but it's just affordable living, being able to say what they want to say and do what they want to do. And, just debates. They should be nationalized too. And mainstream media, as long as it exists as just giant corporations, as a fourth arm of the neoliberal establishment, it's not gonna work. So we would have to pretty much demonetize and nationalize them in order for them to work.
Yeah, I would do something similar to what Norway does. We would have a board that is elected, that has term limits, every 4 years or so. And that board would kind of oversee press freedom in the country. Media outlets would be required to provide very transparent information as to how they're funded. There would be restrictions as to what type of advertisers they could accept. In fact, news and information would have no advertisers whatsoever. It would be funded via the government. There would be protections in place for journalists, so it would apply to that type of press freedom. Boo! And it'd be an elected board. It would be an elected board. It would be overseen, and it would pertain to other media outlets, and it would be subsidized well.
I think it's good. It's, of course, America. There's a better version out there. Someone is doing a better version. This is the problem with American exceptionalism, which is at its foundation is American isolationism, which then breeds this we have no idea what they're doing in Norway, for example. Right. We have no idea that they have this really great democratic free press. Yeah. The one thing I would add is a dunk tank for the journalists and the billionaires.
That's definitely, and that would also be well subsidized. I mean, the water would be clean.
Yes. So they're sitting there, and whenever they push a ruling class talking point, ding, they just go and splash.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's what. First of all, you got to get the corporate money out of there. What Fee's talking about, you have to get the corporate money out of there, and you have to take away their 7 and 8 figure paydays.
Yeah,
they should. Okay, they could make $100,000. 150 if they live in a major market. That's the top.
And they actually do journalism. They don't sit in front of a green screen and push talking points that are facts to them by the ruling class.
Right.
They actually go out on the beat, as you put it. And they do the work.
And they have to. And that's the thing. You get the money out of there because we've talked about this, but it's so, the last debate, 45 minutes talking about Iran, not one question of how we're going to pay for it. Not one. The minute we get into Medicare for all, Bernie won't tell us the truth about how much it's going to cost. And then they literally cut to an ad from a pharmaceutical company. Yeah. Get rid of all that nonsense, and we could actually have real debates. They ask real questions. They would do real journalism, hold the people in power accountable rather than politicians are holding the media accountable. And by politicians, I mean a handful of them, like Tulsi and Bernie. It's insane.
When you watch news from other countries, and I'm not saying other countries don't have their issues too. Of course they do. There's problems with the BBC. There's problems with all that stuff. But even still, when you watch a lot of their news, you're just like, wow. Yeah, they got their problems, but on their worst day, they're infinitely better than what we have. Infinitely better.
That's a great question, Andrew. Sky's not the limit. Shave your knuckles for justice. Have you seen all the crap Project Veritas has put out against the Sanders campaign, and do you think that the campaign should address their videos?
The campaign has addressed it internally. But yes, it's all over Twitter. Project Veritas has been doing is kind of infiltrating the field offices. They infiltrated one of the ones here, and it was just a girl pretending to be a volunteer, and they've just kind of gone in there and try to record people without them knowing. And they have addressed this as far as internally, but not publicly. I don't think they should. I feel like it gives it more importance. Project Veritas is trying to paint the picture that Bernie Sanders is a communist, and they're going to go there and they're going to kill everybody, because there was a guy in Iowa that got caught that was saying, oh, if they cheat Bernie again, we're going to go into Milwaukee and we're going to burn the city down and we're going to fight for justice. And he was just saying all of this really, radical stuff. But to be honest, if they cheat Bernie, people are going to be in the streets protesting. And a lot of us have been talking about that. Like, what he said isn't that crazy, but the way they're framing it is, Bernie's this radical. They're going to try to, go kill Republicans and all this other stuff. So it is misinformation, but I don't think they should focus on it. He's running a decent campaign right now. I think it doesn't serve the need to be focused on it.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend today, and we were saying, why, us indie media progressives, and we have to admit we're in a little bit of a bubble because we all talk to each other and we all follow the same stuff roughly. We want Bernie to take the gloves off and come swinging and be like Trump or whatever, like how Trump won in 2016. And we forget that Bernie is actually, his playing nice actually resonates more with people outside of our world.
That is true.
And I think you might see that this tactic is actually it's starting to pay off. The Hillary saying nobody likes him, look how Bernie handled that.
Yeah.
He said, I'm sorry I said that in the campaign, which I wish he wouldn't have apologized, but he said, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And hey, on a good day, my wife likes me. Joke. They asked him, what do you think of, why is Hillary doing this? Why? And he goes, I don't know, ask her. And he's just moving away from it.
He took the high road there.
Which I think is smart. And part of this is very calculated with regard to, they know Iowa Democrats do not like mudslinging, fighting, and stuff like that. And why we know Bernie would be justified in calling out that Iowa Democrats, and he has to win this first.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, that's up. It's really critical that he wins these first three, not because of the dumb history books or whatever, but because then it just shows that he is actually gaining. And so I think he's been very calculated in saying, I'm going to play it nice and not go after Warren in they all kind of were super nice in the last debate because it was in Iowa and it's leading up to Iowa, and Bernie's not wanting to get that well,
except Warren, who pretty much said, you called me a liar on national TV. But I want to push back on him he should be above the fray, and it is working. But when it comes to saying that Joe Biden is not corrupt under any means, he should have not said that. I think that to me is the one thing where you're not going to win any points, because they're going to smear you whether you act like a saint or not. I mean, he's been acting, like you said, above the fray, and they still smear him. And I think on the other end of the spectrum, in the general, if we're looking at the general, it does come off as not being able to stand up to Donald Trump, not being a little bit weak with some of these independents and these Republicans that are like, oh, Tulsi's a bulldog. Look at Tulsi. She's going after Hillary Clinton. She's suing Google. She's suing everybody that she wants these people to be held accountable. So the counterpoint to that is, yes, it's a very fine line that he has to walk on, where he has to be above the fray, but also simultaneously not be perceived as weak or call these people his friends constantly. Like, Joe Biden is a very good friend of mine. Every 5 seconds, we don't need to be doing that.
That's a great point.
I think that apology was a mistake.
Yeah.
The Joe Biden apology was definitely a mistake. But as far as taking his gloves off, I mean, I want him to take his gloves off, but I want him to do it his way.
Right.
He doesn't have to be bulldog-esque the way a Trump is or anything like that. But, keep it on policy. That's why I think the way he's going after Biden now, because Hillary unintentionally did Bernie a favor.
Absolutely.
When Bernie issued that apology, which was a bad move and will come back to haunt him and already has. Now when Biden's called out for other things, he goes, well, Bernie apologized, and he's going to be able to play that card now. It was a mistake, but, they're back on message now because, Hillary hijacked the conversation. And, he's just saying, hey, Joe, take your word for it. Here's a soundbite of you talking about Social Security. That's not being nice. That's not slinging mud. That's having a debate about the issues, but being transparent about it and being thorough about it and being forward about it. And that's what he should do. That's what he did with Hillary, and that's what he needs to do.
Yeah, because it's a valid point. So let's talk about this now, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. I'm joined by Fiorella and Ron Placone. Is no matter what he says, he still gets Ex-Obama campaign manager says, no question, Bernie Sanders is the worst candidate. I want to show you the actual interview of what this guy said. And he was on, this is going to be shocking, he was on MSNBC. They're usually so
Fair.
They're so fair. That's all they do is are fair. That's all, they're so, everything is their fairnessness. Hold on. Let me find it. Where is it? Boom. This one. Oh, damn it. Where did it go? Come on.
Is that it?
That's that.
Nerds. Want a better credit card? We've got you.
Boy.
The experts at NerdWallet
Wow.
compare hundreds of credit cards.
Don't look at that ad. They're not sponsoring this show. Block your eyes.
No, not at all.
Joe, edit this out.
For all your credit card questions, turn to the
All right.
And Jim Messina, it's interesting. First of all, those numbers against who beats Trump is exactly what you're focused on, because that's what you feel voters most care about right now, and those are the numbers that can be depended on. But what about youth voters? Can they be depended on not just to show their opinions, but to show up at the polls?
It is the great question. When you start to look at modeling who's going to be the electorate in this primary, the question is who's going to actually turn out to vote in these elections. I think those numbers Mika showed are absolutely stunning, because over 50% of voters under 30 favor a candidate over 70 years old. You add up Bernie, Elizabeth, and Biden, and they're over 50% among young candidates. It says that electability matters. It says that issues matter. This has always been Bernie's big calling card, that he could get the youth out. You know, we just had the highest turnout in a midterm election in 100 years with young voters. The question is, are these folks coming in a very big way? And if they do, it'll change the electoral math.
You know, what's interesting and understandable, I think, about those numbers among millennials is the devotion to Bernie Sanders is clearly understandable, large part, I think, because of his consistency over the years on issues. They value consistency, makes him unlike other, in their minds, politicians. And don't underestimate the fact that Bernie, a lot of what he says, the message is basically, you can live your life for free. We'll have free college tuition. We'll have free this. We'll forgive your student debts. It's a powerful message.
It is, but in the general election, it's a message that I think is going to get him killed.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's the worst candidate in a general election for exactly that reason.
You think Bernie's the worst candidate?
Oh, I don't think there's a question about it. I think it's very clear to me that with these swing voters that I care about, the Trump-Obama voters in the Midwestern states, Bernie Sanders is not the candidate we need to beat Donald Trump in November.
Wow. Wow. It's like 2016 never happened. First of all, that's a bad message. You know what? I actually agree with them. That is a bad message. And you know whose message that isn't? Bernie's. That's not Bernie's message. His message is not, you can live your life for free. That's not his message. His message is...
What's that?
Oh, you're playing the
You're
thing.
playing the video in the background. Your video in the background. Don't you talk to me that way. Sorry. Yeah,
Ron was on a roll
Oh,
here.
yeah, Ron was on a real roll. I don't want
No, it's okay. I don't want any credit card commercials as my backing music.
horrible.
I can't have that. That hasn't been my intro music for years.
Yeah, I can't have you doing that either, Ron. But Ron, you were saying you were on such a great roll, and the nerd wallet just came and punched you right in the throat.
One time we were at a progressive comedy tour show, and I thought my intro music was cute, and it actually wasn't. And I went on stage to a YouTube ad. Do you remember when that happened?
That's funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Placone.
And then a YouTube ad started. They were like, "Oh shit!" I mean, you know, like when it was a mistake, it happened. I mean, we laughed it off, but it was kind of funny. But anyway,
great.
no, Bernie's message is not you can live your life for free. What his message is, hey, we can afford the same things other countries take for granted. We just need to reevaluate our priorities. And instead of spending all this money on war and bombs, we should spend it at home. And we should spend it on giving everyone health care. And we should spend it on a Green New Deal. And we should spend it on tuition-free college. That's his message, not you can live your life for free.
And let's be real clear here. That guy who said he's the worst candidate, he was a former Obama guy. Obama, has, on numerous occasions now, insiders have said Obama's going to try to prevent Bernie from happening, right? And then that guy said, oh, he's telling kids they're going to get everything for free. That's the kind of shit they say on Fox News.
Yeah.
That's what Sean Hannity
Free
says.
stuff.
Everyone gets free, and they're going to outlaw cows if you let these socialists in. That's MSNBC having some old white guy say some right-wing bullshit.
Yep.
And not to mention the fact that the data and the numbers prove them otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
Like Bernie Sanders beats Donald Trump by the largest margin, and that's a fact. And Bernie Sanders' ideas like Medicare for all, a Green New Deal, are supported by the majority of Americans. It's once you get down and you talk to people in the Midwest and you empathize with them and their economic situation, those people can't find jobs. They're not getting the wages they deserve. And so once you talk about those issues, those people are like, oh, you know what? Yeah, this makes sense. They're likely to support that. It's the idea that you politicize the issue and you make it a liberal or a right-wing issue when it's just an economics issue.
Well, yeah,
it's a people
Well, and they already did. I mean, Michigan, Wisconsin,
Florida even.
overwhelmingly were in support of Bernie.
Oh, yeah, last time, yeah.
I mean, last time. And then, and those were the states that, of course, Hillary lost. I mean, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
I mean, it's just a ridiculous, it is such a tired argument that like, oh, you need a moderate to beat Trump. Only a moderate. That is just, that has been proven wrong time and time again.
Literally.
It's been proven wrong when you see these DSA members taking over their city council. It's been proven wrong when you see, all these socialists sprouting up in red states. It's been proven wrong when you look at the actual midterm results and see who won and how. It's just so tired, and they're pretending like 2016 never happened.
Well, the thing they're also about 2016 they're pretending never happened is that Trump did run on a populist message.
Exactly.
It was xenophobic and it was had all these other things to it, but he said, I'm going to bring your jobs back. While Hillary was doing fundraisers in New York and LA and Chicago with millionaire, donors or whatever, Trump was going and doing speeches in front of closed factories.
Yep.
In Georgia and all these places, Wisconsin, Michigan, saying, I'm going to bring your jobs back. I'm going to make it. I'm going to help you. Because the stuff doesn't. Here's the other thing that they've refused. This was on Tucker Carlson, right? This is what Tucker Carlson said.
A year from today, we'll be hosting this show from the National Mall as the next president of the United States takes the oath of office. Will that president be Donald Trump? Well, as of tonight, Republicans in Washington feel confident that it will be. The official economic numbers are strong. The Democratic primaries are a freak show. Elderly socialists accusing each other of thought crimes. Republicans are starting to think that victory is assured, and that's a mistake. America remains as divided as it was 3 years ago. So no matter what happens, nobody is going to win this election in a national landslide. Those don't happen anymore. Trump could lose. Will he lose? Well, that depends entirely on what he runs on. In 2016, Donald Trump defeated more than a dozen Republicans and then Hillary Clinton by running as an insurgent, a man from outside the system flipping the bird to the elites within. Virtually everything Trump said reinforced that message. The people who run this country are clueless. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't care about you. They've hollowed out our economy, crushed the middle class. They've screwed up our foreign policy. They left the door open on our southern border. They're children playing at leadership, and they've gotten rich doing it. The result is a national catastrophe. Now, Trump's campaign summed up that message in a single phrase: make America great again. In other words, let's not lie to ourselves. This is a disaster. The good news is we can fix it. Now, the people in charge hated to hear that, of course, because it implicated them. But voters responded. They knew it was true. And by the way, it's still true today. Things are a lot better in a lot of ways, but they're not fixed. Consider the state of the economy. The big numbers, unemployment and inflation, to name two, tell one story, and it's a good story. But dig a little deeper. A Pew poll from this fall provides a glimpse of what is actually happening in a lot of parts of the country. In that survey, 56% of Americans said the economy was excellent or good, and that's good news. But then there was this. Only 31% said the economy was helping them and their families. Just 32% thought the current economy was helping the middle class. 58% thought the opposite. Among lower-income Republicans, 47% said economic conditions were hurting them. Just 30% said they were helping. Now, keep in mind, these aren't sociology professors from the Oberlin Faculty Lounge. This is the president's core. It's his base. Why do they feel that way? It's not personal. It's just really simple. For a lot of middle-class people, wages are not keeping pace with expenses. Childcare, housing, education, healthcare, they're all getting more expensive by the year. The student loan bubble is still inflating. It's burdening young people with debts so large they can't start families. Now, these are economic problems, but they require a political solution. The candidate who makes it easier for 30-year-olds to get married and have kids will win the election and will deserve to win. Remember?
It's kind of sad that he makes more valid points than all these people on the left.
It's very
Tucker Carlson, who's like, oh, we need closed borders and says all this crazy racist stuff.
Yeah.
He's doing, like he said, these are polls of Trump's base.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy on MSNBC was like, oh, Bernie's just going to give everybody free stuff. He just said, if you connect with what people need, because people in their 30s or in late 20s and 30s are not having kids because they're afraid they can't buy a house.
Yeah.
And there's your American dream, right? Unemployment is down because sure, if you drive for Grubhub and Uber and have 4 jobs, you're employed.
The way we measure employment is very, very flawed. And the way we measure the economy is very, very flawed. We measure the economy based on what the stock market's doing. Now, that's something, a Tucker Carlson won't say. It's like, well, when you look at how they feel this way, he won't go as far as to say, well, it's because the way we measure the economy is absolute BS. And the reason people are saying, oh, I guess it's doing good is because they heard that on the news, and they might not be aware that the way they measure it is complete BS. And I think the other thing, too, it's not dependent on what Trump's messaging is. It's dependent upon who Trump's opponent is.
Yes.
And, if Bernie Sanders is Trump's opponent, I think Bernie will win. If it's anyone else, Trump's guaranteed.
Pretty much.
Trump will win.
Well, let's go back to the Forbes. So one of the things that Obama guy who said, Bernie's the worst guy ever, they were referring to a Forbes poll. Forbes, as I will quote Al Pacino from a movie, The Whistleblower or whatever, where he says, not exactly a bastion of anti-capitalist sentiment. These are the young people. 32% want Bernie, 16 Joe Biden, Liz Warren 9, Bloomberg 9, Yang 8, and then everybody else. It should be noted, Biden, Warren, and Buttigieg have all fallen. Bernie has gone upwards, right? And this is, again, no clear leader in latest New Hampshire poll, except Bernie Sanders. He is now.
Hope you don't read that whole headline. No. That's what they want.
Just block out the bottom part, right? And this is some looking at it. All right, so this just happened, and this is how Bernie's numbers. I know these are small numbers for people watching at home, so I'll just point it out for you.
That like a weatherman moment.
This is, we got a high front system coming in here, Rod. You got to bring a lot of showers. So in August, Bernie was at 15%. He's gone up. September 17, 16, 17, 20% in December, 27% in January. Elizabeth Warren has gone between 14 and 19. She's back down to 14. Biden, he started at 29. He peaked at 34. He's down to 24. He's dropped 10 points since October, right? Buttigieg, who they keep pushing, has gone from 5 to 8 to blah, blah, blah. But it's a strong fourth place. It's a very strong fourth place. So that's that poll.
Who are the 4% of people who like Amy Klobuchar? Did they not see that video of her? Remember that video of her where that college kid was like, hey, are you going to do anything for me? And she was like, well, and then they asked her again. They were like, yeah, but answer the kid's question. Are you going to do anything about student loan debt? And she was like, no. And then you see the kid's look on his face, like he's just like, wow, okay. They clearly had, those 4% have not seen that video. There's no way.
I want to point out something. If we recall in 2016, Bernie Sanders won West Virginia as a state in the primaries. But when it came between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, they all voted for Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton. And that's because it's such an impoverished state where he actually went and talked to the people and addressed their concerns. Yes, it was a red state, but he was able to get those Republican votes because he addressed the concerns, whereas Hillary Clinton completely ignored them. Thereby, she lost to Donald Trump. So I think we could, with a Bernie Sanders, absolutely turn a lot of these red states into blue.
There's this guy I know, he's a comic, and he lives in West Virginia, and I posted something in 2016, and this was like right after the election, so everybody's very heated, right? And I posted something, I think it was just about the result itself, and there were a big thread on my Facebook page, right? And it was people of all sides, people who were just like, I'm fed up with the system, this is ridiculous, we never should have been in this situation, blue no matter who people, pro-Trump people, little bit of everything, right? And this one person posted a thing where like, I don't understand how these places in West Virginia was popular for Bernie Sanders, but they wouldn't come out for Hillary Clinton. I don't get it. And this guy who lives in West Virginia just posted right underneath it and said, we remember NAFTA.
Yeah, that's the thing. People and the neoliberals, and this is where the conservatives, their criticism is actually correct.
Right.
Neoliberals living in big cities with college degrees and nice jobs have no idea. The Republican Party doesn't care about those people either. They're just better at masking it and making it sound like they do. The Democratic Party has completely abandoned them. And so and that's such a great example. And this is another thing I disagree with Tucker Carlson about. If Bernie gets the nomination, it's not old socialist mudslinging, whatever he said, which was a funny line.
Yeah.
But I actually think Bernie would have an electoral and a popular vote landslide, because Hillary Clinton had 3 million more votes. We know the majority of them came from California, right? So around the rest of the country is actually a lot closer. But that's Hillary Clinton, the second most disliked candidate ever, still got 3 million more votes than the most disliked presidential candidate ever, who ended up winning electorally. So you look at this, you have Bernie, he's going to flip places like West Virginia. He could flip Texas. He'll get all of those states, those blue states that Hillary should have won, but because he'll actually campaign there. Bernie is not afraid, unlike Elizabeth Warren, to go to red states. He will go on Fox News. He'll go one-on-one with Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity. And when they call him a crazy old communist, he'll go, no. No, he'll just go, no. He's just like, and their smears, Bernie's actually better at dealing with and will go at them harder than when he gets the neoliberal smears. And as we talked about earlier, it plays too nice.
Yeah.
So I just think like this thing that they're saying, they're afraid because Bernie is surging in the polls. They're afraid he's going to get the nomination. And then what? That's why Hillary made her crazy, nobody likes him, and then lost. She's losing that because
weren't you shocked when you found out that Hillary Clinton had a docuseries coming out and the topic was herself?
Oh, yeah.
Who saw that coming?
I know.
She's never done anything like that.
Yeah, she's so great.
She retracted her statement. She was like, oh, I would vote for Bernie, because she was asked if she would vote for him against Trump. And she's like, well, let's not go there right now. And it's like, so you're going to vote for Trump? Miss,
you're going to vote for Trump.
Vote blue no matter who. Miss, we need to unite the party. You know?
Who chastised Bernie supporters that didn't vote for you. Now you're going to vote for Trump? Because let's be real honest. Hillary Clinton, in her heart of hearts, would rather have Trump win than Bernie.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because if Trump wins, she can go, see, Bernie ruined it again.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
If Bernie wins, it's like, hey, nobody wanted you. Bernie could have won in 2016. We could have never had to deal with Trump. But you're the problem. You got in the way. And you and Obama's so worried about his legacy now. And because people are flipping on him, he's like, oh, I got to go after Bernie. So
let them. It just helps Bernie.
Yeah, I know. All right. So that's that. Like, share, and subscribe, everybody. And Ron, we have some tour dates.
We have so many tour dates.
This Saturday, where are we going?
This Saturday, we're going to be in Santa Clarita, California. Southern California. Don't be shy. Get some tickets right now.
Yes.
Do it.
Go to ronplacone.com or grahamelwood.com. February, we're going to Arizona and San Francisco, and we're going to be doing some live Jimmy Doors on the road. And March, we're going to Florida.
Orlando, Tampa, Miami. Get your tickets now.
Yes. Go get your tickets. Like, share, subscribe, share these videos, and shave your knuckles for justice. 521 people are watching.
Nice.
Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Yes. Yes. Sanders versus Trump debate would be epic. Absolutely. Just bask in Hillary's reflected glory and have a coal macaroon. That's funny as shit. Let's see who else we got joining us on the stream today. Everyone's here. It's nice to see everybody. Make sure I've got everything. going on while I'm doing this. Ron, why don't you tell people where they can watch your show on a daily basis?
Well, you can check me out at youtube.com/Ron Placone, where I stream Get Your News On with Ron every Monday through Thursday. Again, that's youtube.com/Ron Placone. At Twitter, I'm at Ron Placone on Twitter. And ronplacone.com for all the tour dates. We just said what's coming up soon through March. In April, we're going to the Pacific Northwest. In May, we're going to the Midwest, Indianapolis, Detroit, Cleveland. Tickets went on sale today for Cleveland. And we got pretty much all of our 2020 dates announced. Richmond, Virginia, tickets went on sale today. Philadelphia, Boston, New York City, Washington, D.C., Portland, Maine, we're coming at you for the first time. Burlington, Vermont, we're coming at you for the first time. Madison, Minneapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee. All those tickets are available now. Nashville, Louisville, ronplacone.com or grahamelwood.com. Get those tickets. We can't wait to see you on the road. We're hitting it hard, so we'll see you out there.
Yeah, come to a show, guys. You show up alone. You leave part of a progressive community. You meet other activists in your area. We always have organizations. We have the Green Party, Movement for a People's Party, DSA shows up, Veterans for Peace show up, local progressive candidates show up. You can have a one-on-one conversation with somebody that potentially could be representing you in office. So you meet and you laugh your ass off and have a great time. And somebody said, Graham, you should run against Kamala Harris. Oh, God. Someone wants to back me on that. I would run against her so hard. I would run against her so hard. I would go, oh, God. I would be like, you took my home. That would be my battle cry. You stole my home, and you need to be in jail. I wouldn't play nice with her at all. It'd be fantastic. Oh, God, I'd run. What do I need to do to run against her?
Paid for by Granny Petrol, right?
Let's see if we can get some Granny Petrol backing. See if we can get Big Kale behind you.
Yeah,
I can talk to the Big Cat lobby, see if we can do some things there.
Does Big Kale have a wine cave that I could go have a fundraiser in, or?
They only serve smoothies, but yes, is the. It's not wine per se, but the concept's the same.
Fee, tell everybody about Convo Couch and where they can go see it.
Yeah, so Convo Couch, with many of you watching here know, Craig Pasta Jardula. We go live pretty much every day. Right now, we're finishing candidate month. We are having candidates in the studio and also via Skype at 1 and 2 o'clock every Tuesday and Thursday, and every other Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we will either stream live or release videos. So you can find us at YouTube/The Convo Couch, also Facebook, The Convo Couch, me on Twitter at Fiorella_IM, where I am always attacking neoliberals and it's fun, and The Convo Couch on Twitter as well.
Yeah, check out Convo Couch. Ron and I have both been on it. It's a good show.
Good time.
Judas Priest, boom! Shave your knuckles for justice.
It's an awesome screen.
It is an awesome screen name. Graham, let them know about Action for Assange GoFundMe. The foursome needs money to go to their trip to London. So yes, Action for Assange. Who Taylor Hudak's been on the show. The last two videos I dropped a couple days ago, we had her on the show. Julian Assange extradition hearing is February 25th in London. They are doing a GoFundMe to go cover it. I'm going to try to go, but it's like I didn't want to do a crowdfunding thing. One of you said they gave $250 in matching funds, but if I don't get enough money and it take me about $1,500 in the next week, I probably won't go. So, and if they don't, that's okay, but they're going to go and we will get live coverage from them. I will talk to Taylor every night and she can give us updates on that. So go check out Action for Assange, and they do a live stream every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. And they are sort of the best resource for what is going on with Julian Assange and Chelsea Manning for that matter. So yeah, we had her on the show a couple days ago because we were talking about what happened at Glenn Greenwald. So check out Action for Assange.
Oh yeah, guys, and we're going to be covering we're going to go to the New Hampshire primary, the fam and I will be going to Iowa to cover the primary as well. I will be going by myself, but we're going to see what's going on in the lines and see. Apparently there's rules that you can't just go in there and tape and watch, but I'm trying to figure all that out.
What's the date on that?
That's going to be from the 31st through the 2nd. Of 31st of January through the 2nd in Iowa, and then the following week is a New Hampshire primary, which will be
we should at some point. I would love to have you Skype into this show and give us updates.
We're gonna try to figure that out as well, how to make that happen.
All right, awesome, everybody. See, you get involved, you join, you get to and unite behind all of these progressive channels. Convo Couch, Get Your News On with Ron, Action for Assange, and that's where you piece together all your information. Or listen to the liars on corporate media. It's your choice.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato,
really.
tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. Where are we at here? Mockable. Shave your knuckles for justice. You're making Gotham great again. Why isn't anyone talking about the costs of the impeachment trial as well as the costs of Trump's lawyers dumped on the taxpayers?
Yeah. And let's talk about all the stuff that he's gotten while it's been going on. And I know we've mentioned this list before, but man, he got a new NAFTA. He got billions more in military money than he wanted. He got an illegal war with Iran. He got, oh, by the way, they just rolled back water protections. That affects how much of our waterways? 63%. Even Trump's appointed EPA scientists were against it. That's how catastrophic it is. But it happened anyway while Adam Schiff is doing his stupid one-man show charade called an impeachment trial. It's a fucking joke.
Yeah, it's such a waste of time, and we've said this before, but like every time there's some big distraction like this, I'm always like, what are we not talking about?
Exactly.
Like, there's a valid point, like the last week of talking about Warren, did Bernie say something sexist? Now, it was valid to call her out for her nonsense and show her scam, but we talked about, you know what we didn't talk about for a week? Iran.
Yep.
We didn't talk about that for a week. We didn't talk about the ongoing 30,000 people that die every year that they don't have health care. We didn't talk about the Epstein trial. We didn't talk about the Clintons' role with the Epstein. This stuff keeps coming out. Like they've just, I guess there's, I haven't read the whole thing, but somebody is claiming to have hacked Ghislaine Maxwell's computer, and who knows what's on there.
Yeah.
I heard that too, but that's all, like, I just heard about it.
I just heard about it. I don't know the details on it. I don't know who has it, who's going to leak it. If they do, man, I hope you're in a safe place, because you're going to hang yourself with a paper T-shirt if you're not careful. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
And so like, all of the things we're not talking about.
Not to mention dragging the politicians like Bernie Sanders from the campaign to go to the impeachment trial. I mean, I feel like that's a little opportunistic. It's done on purpose. Let's not kid ourselves.
Well, yeah, he left the Iowa debate that night and had to go to D.C. for this ridiculous kangaroo trial.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's such a, what are we not, all the things we're not talking about. We're not talking about all this stuff. And again, like you said, all the things that the democratically controlled Congress has given this guy.
Gave to him.
Handed to him. And it's just like...
Oh, the Patriot Act. I forgot to mention that.
Oh,
the Patriot Act. They gave him that too. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
It's like, and somebody posted on Twitter today, because Chelsea Manning, unfortunately, her mother just passed away, and she can't go to her mother's funeral because she's in prison. And this one person was like, Trump, you're evil and bad. I'm like, okay, yeah, Trump could pardon her and let her go. And this person was like, Obama let her go, but Trump won't. We're like, whoa.
Obama commuted her sentence.
Well, first he jailed her.
First he jailed her and tortured her. Then he commuted her sentence.
And to be clear, from a legal standpoint, commuting the sentence means anyone like the next president, Donald Trump, can put her back in prison, which is what he did. Obama let that happen.
Exactly.
That's another thing where Obama gave Trump free range to do all this evil shit when he could have signed the bill after bill after bill after bill to really make it hard for Trump to do all this crap. But it's hard when you're a sellout too, when you're a corporate sellout.
Well, he did it with immigration, which is something now Biden's having to face.
Right.
You know, under you and Obama, there was millions of people deported. And that's the thing. He set up the mechanisms for Donald Trump to come in and do as he pleased. So.
All right. Luke E.S., you're making Gotham great again. Bernie will destroy Trump in a debate. Yeah, that's the other thing. Bernie's playing nice with his Democratic friends. I don't think he will one-on-one. Trump knows this. Trump's already like, I don't know if I'm going to do debates. He already knows one-on-one Bernie would eat his lunch. Because Bernie's like, I don't care if I piss you off. There's no party here that can, there's ramifications against. And I'll call you out in a way that'll show your base how much of a fraud you are.
Oh, totally. And he doesn't have, I mean, think of how much ammunition anyone could have against someone like a Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And he was able to just use it every single debate. Against Bernie, what's he gonna... Well, you've been having the same message for 40 years.
Yeah, he's going to call him
How
a
about that?
socialist. He's going to say Bernie wants to give you everything. He's going to say.
Yeah,
he's
so
gonna,
once he dunks on him after
But
that, like
imagine a
Trump's
Biden.
done.
Yeah.
Imagine Biden.
Or a Warren.
Imagine
which would be worse.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, the baggage. I mean, Biden has more baggage, but Warren will just fold
Yeah.
immediately. I mean, Warren just. I mean, it'll be brutal, the debate between them two.
Ooh, baby Gerald, shave your knuckles for justice. 2 great channels to look for dirt on FBI, CIA, etc. are Hidden History and Covert Action Magazine. Cheers. Oh, thank you for that information. In addition to, what was the book you said you guys are reading on?
JFK and the Unspeakable.
JFK and the Unspeakable. All right. Sky's not the limit. Shave your knuckles for justice. Do you think that a tactic we should argue for more green energy, even if climate change wasn't ill, because the argument can still be made? Yeah, that's the thing I've said before. To the climate change deniers, I always go, green energy is more efficient. It's more sustainable. Right. Mm-hmm. Like farmers, it's healthier. It's better for your soil. Like farmers in the Midwest, we've driven through the Remember we were doing that tour through Omaha and Sioux Falls and Minnesota, and we saw all these wind farms, all these wind turbines all throughout the middle of the country, and the farmers are making money from it. So just whether you believe in climate change or not, that's just better for you as a farmer. You know, if you have solar panels on your house, it's cheaper in the long run.
Money.
You're saving money. It's just better. And if those are made in America by Americans with union jobs, isn't that better for you? Would you just agree on that? Yes, you would. And that's the thing. You with Bernie's Green New Deal, you go to the red states and you say, we're going to put a solar factory right here. Boom, pow. Yeah. You're getting this.
Yeah, you're getting a safe, sustainable job.
Yes.
And where there used to be oil jobs and you know those kinds of jobs relying on oil, you switch them to the green tech and the new jobs there. And that's what I think a lot of the times the Democrats miss, because then you have the environmental groups pitted against the pro-labor groups, which happened here in California. That's why we have Rusty Hicks as chair. But what you must do is tell them, hey, we're going to have new jobs for these people to transition into, and promote that. I don't feel like that's promoted enough. People are afraid of losing their jobs, understandably so. So you got to have a solution for them. And I think the people in the Midwest and some of these Republicans, if you speak to them that way, they're going to agree with you. How could they not?
That's a great point. And that's part of Bernie's Green New Deal. And I've seen AOC talk about this. And it's one of the reasons why, again, I think he would resonate in the red states in a head-to-head with Trump. Going from July to November, if he gets the nomination, is because he will do that very same thing. Someone's going to go, they're going to raise their hand at a town hall in a red state, and they'll go, hey, I'm working at the oil factor, the oil refinery. Are you going to take my job? And Bernie will go, no. How much are you making today? I'm making $53,000. You're going to keep that 53 while we transition you. No one just loses that's part of the Green New Deal. We'll pay for you to have that as we transition and retrain you. And the person will go, oh, okay.
Do I get some time off in between too? Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
You're going to get some time off.
Yeah, and you don't have to pay your healthcare premium either.
Yeah, you don't have to pay your healthcare premium. Oh, and guess what? Your kids get to go to college now. How are we going to pay for it? Well, I'm going to tax Amazon and companies like that. I'm going to repeal their tax breaks. I'm going to repeal the subsidies we give to the oil lobbies. I'm going to make all these Fortune 500 companies that don't pay taxes. I'm going to bring those back. That's how I'm going to pay for it. And we're going to cut the military budget because actually all of our bombing creates more terrorism, which makes America less safe. There. I just wrote your fucking red state campaign stop. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I slapped the table.
Bernie, we need a thank you note. Go ahead. Send it to Graham. That was awesome.
JT. Boom. I wouldn't shave my knuckles for justice, but I would love to shave my knuckles for those beautiful wooden walls. Great stream. Well, I'm glad you like the wooden walls here.
Wow.
We're at the All Things Comedy. This is the podcast network that my podcast, Comedy Film Nerds, used to be on. You can still listen to it if you'd like. Bill Burr's podcast is here. Dave Anthony's The Dollop is here at All Things Comedy.
Here.
So they
Sam Tripoli's here.
Sam Tripoli, tinfoil hat, is in this very room. And Aaron, our producer. Aaron, how are you doing?
I'm not on mic.
Oh, he's not on mic. Well,
now I am. Yes.
Oh, now he's on mic.
I'm here.
What other shows are at ATC?
We've got the Bertcast. We've got Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee. Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank.
Those three guys love showing their parts of their naked body.
Yeah, you know, some photos that they post don't go well on Facebook. Wow, a lot. We still got Road Stories, which Ron was just on.
I was just on, I was just on Murray's
outstanding.
podcast.
Road Stories, nice business.
Yeah.
Way to go. Whose idea was it for the wooden walls that this one fan will shave their knuckles for?
Let's just say that guy's no longer here.
All right, somebody got fired. Owen Johnson, thank you for supporting the show. Just got my ticket to see you guys in Detroit. Everybody sign and share and change.org petition asking Bernie to draft Nina Turner as VP. I'm on board with that. Look, we've talked about a Bernie Tulsi ticket would be a great ticket, but a Bernie Nina ticket, and then you make Tulsi Secretary of State.
Yeah, that works.
Here's why I like that: is you need to insulate. You need to have some assassination insulation.
Yeah.
Because believe me, that if they want to saddle him with a centrist, it's so that they could get him out of there somehow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And get someone that'll go on board.
Right.
You know, it was LBJ ran on a get us out of Vietnam campaign in '68, and he ramped up the bombing in Cambodia after Bobby was killed in the primary. So let's just be real clear here.
Yeah, the FDR Henry Wallace situation comes to mind as well.
Yes. Well, good. I'm glad you're going to see us in Detroit.
May 15th, Detroit.
Yes. That tour's all booked now, right?
Yes, we pretty much, all of our tickets are available. Atlanta, hold tight. We're waiting on Atlanta, but literally as of today, every other ticket
Atlanta
is
might
available.
already be up. I just emailed the guy. He asked for our promo stuff, so that
Okay,
the
cool.
punchline in Atlanta, it might literally be up right now.
So we're pretty much the entire tour. Tickets are available. So ronplacone.com, grahamelwood.com. We're hitting one region a month, sometimes two. Coming up soon, Santa Clarita on Saturday.
If you're in Southern California, come out to Santa Clarita this
California,
Saturday.
starting right in our backyard. Tucson, Arizona after that. San Francisco, California, and then Florida. So that's what's coming up first, but we're hitting a lot of cities.
Boom. Sage and Fool. Shave your knuckles for justice. Speaking of how you're going to pay for it, WallStreetOnParade.com details how the Fed has printed and pumped $6 trillion into Wall Street in the last 6 weeks, more than all the wars together over 20 years. This is the thing that when you study MMT, you realize the we need taxes to pay for things actually is complete bullshit, because the Fed can just print one. They just gave $6 trillion.
Money, yeah.
They can literally just print money. We are, as Stephen Hale told us when we went out to lunch with him and another MMT economist, whose name I forget at the moment, who looks like Paul McCartney.
Yeah, he did.
And thinks he might be related to him. We don't know. We don't have any DNA testing on that.
He was so excited when I brought it up.
Yeah.
I was like, has anyone ever told you? And he's like, oh, I'm so glad you noticed. It's kind of my thing. I go to bars sometimes. Sometimes I convince a lady. He didn't say that.
But you know
he didn't
has.
say that.
You know he has.
I bet he's taken a picture at some point.
I bet he's gotten laid. I bet he's playing.
Maybe. I don't know. But I bet it's like, you know, he was like, do I really want to ruin this person's day and say, no, yeah, I'm Paul McCartney.
Yeah, of course. Why not? But one of the things that they explained to us at that lunch was another thing, as I'm constantly expanding my knowledge on MMT, and I have an MMT playlist. If you're like, Graham, what's MMT? Or I don't know a little about it. It's a lengthy thing to go into. I have at least, I forget, but like 8 to 10 or 12 videos about MMT, interviews. One of them was with Stephen Hale, Fidel Kaboub, numerous interviews with Jeff Epstein. Not
that guy.
Not the good one.
He's a good Jeff
Epstein.
He's a great guy. Lives in Philadelphia.
Good.
Does he want to change his name now?
I think he's doing okay. Yeah, no, I think he's okay. But yeah, he does the harmony on the Get Your News on Thron theme song.
Oh, nice.
That high voice you hear is Jeff.
And Citizens Media TV. But anyway, one of the things that they explained to us is America, like I forget how many countries, is what's called a monetary sovereign, Australia's this, China's this, meaning they have a fiat currency. They can make their own money. It's not backed by anything. Nixon took us off of the gold standard in the 70s, and that's why this is able to happen.
Yeah.
That's why when you really get into it, and Stephen Ale made a very good point. He goes, Bernie Sanders shouldn't bring up FMT. He should Trojan horse this in.
Right.
Yes.
Because it's too big of a pill.
That was very smart.
Very smart. It's too big of a pill for people to swallow. But the real reality is when Bernie's in and he gets a Green New Deal, he can just say, I'm going to spend all the money on this.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to get money on all this. And this is the thing that actually might make him get the capitalists to not just try to smear him or assassinate him or whatever, like FDR did. He'll say, look, your days of making oil and bombs are over, but I'll give you unlimited money to get green energy going. And those companies might go, okay.
They just want their bottom line.
All we care about is profit. If he goes to them and says, I'm not gonna lock you up, I'm not gonna put you in jail, but I'll give you, look, you just got $6 trillion. What do you need? I'll give you $1 trillion, and guess what, Boeing? You need to make wind turbines now. That's your business. That can happen. And I think that's why people are starting to kind of like, even the corporate media is like turning a little bit, because that actually, if just these big corporations, all they care about is a bottom line, this would do it. This would do it. A $10 trillion check to save the planet, and your company's at the forefront?
Yeah.
That's why he's arming himself with people like Stephanie Kelton,
Yes,
who are
right.
involved, because these mainstream media, everybody's seeing the writing on the wall. They're seeing the possibility of a Bernie Sanders presidency now that I don't think they saw in 2016.
But we still have to pretend like he is a million points behind.
Yes.
No,
We haven't had one primary.
Like,
no
I just
visible
wanna-
leader. There's no visible leader.
No, I just want to throw that out though. That's like, as far as we're concerned, he is still grossly behind because we cannot leave anything to chance.
Right. It's a very valid point. JT, shave your knuckles for justice. Bernie can be nice, but he needs to call out the BS. Yeah, I know. Look, there's been things as we talked about that we wish he would. Some certain things were just not even just. They were just mistakes. He just shouldn't have.
I mean, totally. And you know what? He's going to continue to do some things right, and he's going to continue to, get a couple things wrong. It's inevitable, but, hopefully you see more of. I really loved his New York Times moment.
Yeah.
Where he went in there and he's like, look, this is not what I do. I'm not going to remember your birthday. The Republicans and Democrats failed the American people, and I guess the New York Times did too. A little bit of a paraphrase, but that's essentially what he went in there and said. And then, shockingly, they didn't endorse him. But
Yeah, he said, I don't do well with bullshit.
But you know what? I bet
out.
a lot less people paid attention to that Amy Klobuchar, Liz Warren endorsement by the New York Times, and a lot more people paid attention to what Bernie Sanders said in their offices. That video went everywhere. When he started calling Joe Biden out on Social Security.
Millions of views.
Those videos are still circulating. And now when Joe Biden tries to backpedal on it, be like, well, Bernie's just like, here, this is you saying it. This is you saying
saying it.
Those are the moments he needs to have. Those are the good moments. He needs more of those.
Who's reading the New York Times? Who cares what the New York Times thinks?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And these are the New York Times endorsed? Oh, no. So what are all these sexist burn bros going to do? Oh, no. Look at all these women of color that endorse Bernie Sanders. Look at them. Nina Turner, Brianna Joy, Dr. Dooley, who I've interviewed on this show in the lower left, AOC. Excuse me, Amy Villela, who you and I know, who's come to our shows, who's a staunch advocate for his Medicare for All
Amy's
plan
awesome.
because her daughter died because she didn't have health insurance. So Amy ain't backing down from shit. I mean, Omar, all of Jayapal, who just endorsed him.
Yep.
Like, sorry. So the rich person's establishment newspaper backed the two establishment candidates, and these women backed these endorsements mean more than some tired old the New York Times. The what? Who's reading the New York Times? Who's reading it?
And also
less people than watch those videos. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. And then by double endorsing Warren and Klobuchar, they have
War Butcher.
That's what it's called. War Butcher. I love it. They are basically saying they're the same candidate. They're like, we're gonna endorse both of them because they're both good. Like, how are they both good? Oh, they're both centrist. So Warren has tried to kind of teeter between being a progressive and being a centrist, but Amy Klobuchar has embraced her centrism like no other. And so basically what that does for Warren is put her on the same level as Amy Klobuchar, which does her no favors. So ultimately, that endorsement, once again, helps Bernie Sanders solidify that he is the one guy that is not going to be in the hands of the elitist New York Times type of
Right. That's
And
it.
people like that. People are responding
Well,
positively.
that's the thing too, is the New York Times doesn't realize that they're viewed as just some sort of, oh, these rich New Yorkers who are so out of touch.
Yeah.
And New Yorkers are pretty goddamn out of touch. They think everything revolves around that little island, and they don't realize there's a whole world outside of Manhattan. They don't realize that. And it also is just some old school 2016 identity politics. We support the women. It's like, boom, eat it. Sorry. That doesn't mean anything. And the centrism, it's such... Klobuchar in the debates, she's always like, let me put some reality in the room.
Right.
And then she lays out this boring centrist plan. And it's like, we've talked about this, all those exciting centrists throughout history. How many of them have high schools named after them? Remember Johnny Centrist, who barely did anything, had a high school named after him? Remember that? We just celebrated MLK.
Johnny Centrist was the guy who got D3 as a thing on your gear shift. It used to just be D and then D2 and then D1. You'd go down to D1 if it was snowing real bad. Johnny Centrist made D3 a thing.
Man.
Yeah. I'll never forget that.
Remember that bold quote from him? Was just like, I think we need another gear.
I think we need another gear.
Wow. It was exciting.
One more gear, but not too fast. He was very punny with it. Brilliant man.
Don't get crazy. Yeah. You remember FDR said the only thing we have to fear is purity tests? Remember when he said that?
I remember when he said that.
That was so exciting.
Yeah. It was right after he was like, hey, Social Security might be a good thing.
Yeah.
But let's not rush.
We just had MLK Day, and I'm like, every year they bring out the I Have a Dream speech, which is a fantastic speech. It's a wonderful speech. They always seem to forget the speeches on socialism, the speeches on the poor people's campaign, this anti-war speeches. They always seem to forget those.
They forget those ones.
That's weird.
They forget
it's
those
so
ones.
weird.
Selective amnesias.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. There we go. Melissa H. Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Graham and Ron, thanks for getting the date for Burlington, Vermont. Bought my ticket yesterday. Thanks for sending the link, Ron. See you in 8 months.
See you in 8 months.
Burlington, Bernie's
September
hometown.
13th.
September 13th. We will either be there to help Bernie beat Trump or encourage him to run as an independent.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sage and Fool, what's up? Trump is floating on the great economy because of the hyperinflated stock market, and no one is challenging him on the facts. 1, 84% of Americans have no stocks. 2, the Fed has pumped $6 trillion into it. Yeah, it's such a great point. I mean, and this is, again, if Bernie gets the nomination...
Bless you.
Bless you, Ron. For all of your sins. If Bernie gets the nominations, this is the thing I think he's going to, and this is how he will have to run against Trump, especially in the red states, is not Trump bad, Russia, racist, Trump. You're going to have to go and say, talk about the realities of the economy, like you just said, Sage and Fool. The thing about 1% of the population owns 85% of the stock. So a good stock market means nothing to the average person. It means nothing. Even if you have 1,000 shares of a stock, it still means nothing to you.
Dude, people were connecting so much when Obama was saying, hey, Wall Street, we're worried about Main Street. And then, of course, he ended up delivering the opposite. It was a bunch of baloney. You remembered Wall Street, forgot about Main Street. But people connected so hard to that.
And that statistic, you know, all those statistics we just saw on the Tucker Carlson thing. People who voted for Trump and will go, yeah, the economy's good, but then ask point blankly in a survey, how is your life? It's not good.
Right.
It's not. I'm not doing well. We're not doing well. Things are not better. Like
the news is telling me things are fine for some people.
Yeah.
Because it's their 1% friends. But so I'm guessing it's fine, but it ain't fine for me.
It ain't fine for me. And
it's
eventually,
like, guess what? It ain't fine for your neighbor either.
Yeah.
Or your neighbor 2 doors down.
And that's going to start happening. People are going to go, where is it? Things so everyone's telling me that Trump's making it great. He's making it great and making it great. And everyone's like backing him and backing him and backing him. But eventually, when you don't have money and you can't pay your bills, then you're going to vote no. And that's where Bernie's going to swoop in, I think.
Yeah,
with like
that's where he is swooping in. I mean, he's always bringing the Trump attacks back to the economics of it. He's talking about how Donald Trump is saying the economy is great, but people have to work 5 jobs in order to make ends meet. He doesn't stick on the identity politics of, oh, Donald Trump is a sexist and he said this to me and I didn't like it, as much as the other Democrats. And I think that's what is going to resonate with people in the Midwest and in the southern states where they are hurting the most, because it's not a very metropolitan city like Los Angeles or New York, where those people don't really have opportunities outside of maybe going into the military or getting a job at Walmart. So that's how he wins. That's how he's winning this.
Yeah, that's true. And bring it up. He gave a $1.5 trillion tax break to billionaires. That didn't help you. That didn't help me. $1.5 trillion tax break. That's the amount of money for student debt forgiveness. So he could have, when you ask how you're going to pay for all this free, we could have just taken that and given it to students so that your student debt would have been gone. But instead, a billionaire got a tax break. That's how you pointed out. You go to the farmers and say the trade deal with China, even though they've got this new one that's supposedly supposed to be so better, that's hurt farmers. Anyway. Be green. Shave your knuckles for justice. Check out the Bloomberg article. Pentagon racks up $35 trillion in accounting changes in a year. We can obviously afford a lot for our citizens. Yeah. $35 trillion in like an accounting flub.
Yeah.
You know, really? How are we gonna pay for it? How are we gonna pay for it? Just have the Pentagon balance their books a little better, and $35 trillion, we get everything you'd ever want in your life.
Right? It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
We just behave like your stereotypical empire.
Yes.
Like render the people powerless and poor, and then just have this ever conquesting military.
Yep. Tony DeMeo. Thank you for watching the show and supporting it. I don't care what anyone from the Obama administration says. Agreed.
Yeah.
Emberg33. Fee, how do you manage to live stream on Rockfin?
Johnny does all that. You can message us and Johnny might explain. He uses a OBS system where we multi-stream to Rockfin, which everybody should go to. It's a blockchain platform. It's awesome. We've been doing, all 3 of us are on there, and it actually helps a lot of us. But he does simultaneously Periscope, Rockfin, 2 YouTube channels, Facebook, and Twitch.
Yes.
So it's a lot. We're still kind of working to see if that's good, if we should just condense it a bit. But it's an OBS system that he uses. You do have to pay for it, and he just programs it into it to where he can just put go and it just goes. So, yeah, message Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny was actually going to come over to my place to walk me through all this, and then he got sick a couple weeks ago. So as soon as he's better, which maybe he already is, he's going to help me with that, because I know many.
Better.
Okay, good. Because many of you have asked, Graham, you should do, and yes, I'm not that tech savvy, so he's going to walk me through the OBS. Like when I tried to live stream with Taylor Hudak the other night and we couldn't hear her, I don't know how to fix that. Johnny, I bet you can.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about this. We have not talked about welcome to the Political Vigilante, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood. I'm joined from the Convo Couch, Fiorella, and from Get Your News On with Ron and the Jimmy Dore program, Ron Placone, everybody.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching the show. Like, share, and subscribe. So our friend Tulsi Gabbard did something that I, in fact, love. Tulsi Gabbard's statement on defamation lawsuit against Hillary Clinton. I'll read it for everybody. I love our country. That's why I made the decision to enlist in the Army and National Guard after the attack on our country on 9/11. Hillary's never served. Neither is Bill. Neither is Chelsea. I served as a soldier now for 17 years. Still a major in the National Guard, in the reserves, rather. I put my life on the line for our country, volunteering and deployed twice to the Middle East, and I've served in Congress for over 7 years on the Foreign Affairs, Armed Services, and Homeland Security committees. I have dedicated my entire adult life to protecting the safety, security, and freedom of the American people. Despite my lifetime of service to our country, Hillary Clinton has essentially tried to portray me as a traitor to our country. If Hillary Clinton and her allies can successfully destroy my reputation, even though I'm a war veteran and a sitting member of Congress, then they can do it to anybody, which is a fantastic point that Tulsi is making. We all said that when Hillary called her a Russian asset, you're like, really? You're saying a sitting member of Congress and a major in the army is taking orders from Russia? That's a serious accusation.
Yeah.
Because if that's true, we need to do a thorough investigation. If members of Congress and majors in the army are taking orders from Putin, we need to know this. Right? Former Secretary of State, not just some wingnut on TV, a former Secretary of State who got security briefings every goddamn day.
Yeah.
She knows what's up.
It's just so amazing. It's like, what does she think happens? Like, does she think like Tulsi's just sitting eating her breakfast and all of a sudden it's like, Tulsi, look under the sink. I have a message for you. Person you humiliate this week is Pete Buttigieg. That will be plan number 1. Come back next week for plan 2.
Oh, she just gets one of those Russian dolls and opens it up, and there's just new intel in each one of the little dolls.
Leave some pineapple under the sink for me. It's good here. Like, what do you think happened? Like, it was just the most insane nonsense that Hillary Clinton was spewing.
Well, let's go back more to this. In fact, that's exactly the message Hillary and her powerful elite friends want to send you. Hillary Clinton and her allies want you to know that if you dare cross them, they will destroy your reputation as well, which is absolutely true. Now, we know that anyone new to this is a history. When they screwed Bernie in 2016, Tulsi was the vice chair of the DNC, and she stepped down and said no and backed. And that was like, uh-oh, you crossed to Clinton. So they've been trying to get at her. They've pushed through mainly MSNBC and CNN, the Assad apologist, when Tulsi said, why are we doing regime change wars? So a combat veteran that was in a medical unit that saw the worst part of war. I was over there as a comedian, and I went into some medical tents and saw a wounded soul. I sat in on a surgery, and it's in my movie Afghanistan. It's horrifying, and I just saw a glimpse of it, and it was horrifying. I can't imagine what a goddamn medical unit saw on a daily basis, while this rich white lady is filling her bullshit foundation with arms deals. So that already is offensive.
Yep.
And that's why she's like, why are we going to war? Hillary Clinton profits from war, as do all of her Republican and defense contractor friends. Hillary Clinton is a pro-choice Republican at best, right?
Yeah, at best.
At best.
She doesn't even pick pro-choice Republicans as her running mates.
No. So I will not allow, Tulsi says, I will not allow this blatant effort to intimidate me or other patriotic Americans into silence go unchallenged. This is why I filed a lawsuit against Hillary Clinton. I ask you to stand with me, working side by side to ensure we have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Together, we will usher in a new era of fresh leadership with peace, freedom, and opportunity for all. I'll just say this. I've never been a big fan of lawsuits. I don't like that. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. But this is awesome. So what are your guys' thoughts?
Everybody loves to complain about how horrible Hillary Clinton is and how she is, this leader in the Democratic Party, how she manipulates everything behind closed doors. But nobody has had the audacity to go after her in the way Tulsi Gabbard did. And that was all brought up by Hillary. Hillary chose to call her a Russian asset. So she responded via the tweet that went entirely viral and got people to be like, whoa, she's going after the DNC. She's flat out mentioning the establishment, because she doesn't just mention Hillary Clinton. She also mentions the elites, like her people, her minions. Like, she doesn't say minions, but she says like her people. And so by doing this, she's setting a precedent that's like, look, you guys, she can go after me. I have a platform. I'm a congresswoman. I'm a veteran. She's going to go after everybody. And we need to stop being bullied, because nobody has stood up to the Clintons. They're like, people joke about it. They're like, oh, you're going to get, you're going to get suicided. You're going to get Epstein. Yeah, Clinton, whatever it is. So to me, this is a huge deal. This is not even people. I don't think people are seeing how big of a deal this is. And I applaud her to do that, because while Bernie is playing nice and above the fray, she is going out there and attacking these people that are Hillary surrogates, like Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg and the Democratic establishment. And now look who's left in the field. right? And I think that helps the progressive movement.
No, we've talked about this before. The last two debates, it was missed having Tulsi on the stage
Right.
to fight alongside of Bernie and stuff like that. So, Ron, what do you think of this?
Oh, I agree with everything that was said, absolutely, and I hope that she gets a huge fat check from Hillary Clinton. I would love to see that happen. The reality of the situation, too, though, it's not going to be an easy case to win.
Right.
It's going to be tough. That's just the reality of it. To prove defamation for a public figure, you have to prove, negligence in it, where it's like, well, this person didn't do their due diligence and they spouted this thing off that hurt this person's reputation. You also have to prove malicious intent, which it's certainly not. I don't think it's impossible. I'm sure it's not. But it's not going to be super easy, and Hillary will be able to hide behind the fact that she didn't mention Tulsi by name. Some people are saying like that's not a factor. It's like, yeah, they're going to try to work with that though, and Tulsi's legal team needs to be prepared as to how they're going to refute that.
Her spokesperson though did confirm
but
that
I'm just saying they need to refute that.
Yeah.
I mean, but still they'll be able to be like, well, we didn't say it, blah blah blah. So it's like, I'm just saying they need to be prepared. I'm not saying it's not winnable. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know, but it's certainly not going to be easy. That's what everyone's saying.
I agree with you from a legal standpoint, but to me, the win or loss is irrelevant. Because it's her just calling it out. That's what it is. Like when she called Hillary the queen of warmongers, that was like, I remember I stood up in my apartment when I read that on my phone. I was like, she's not saying that's not true. That Hillary, she went, what? Like, this is Tulsi. Like, I'm in the military. I've been shot at. I'm in the military is a boys club. I had to listen to all kinds of crap. I can do more push-ups than you. Like, I know how to shoot a weapon. So why don't you pipe down? So what I think this is going to do is either way, she's going head to head with the Clintons is fantastic. And this is why Bernie picking her as his VP, you want to win some red states?
Right.
You just did it.
Oh, I agree.
You just won at least a dozen red states with that move right there. And it's like somebody finally calling the Clintons on their bullshit. Yeah. Bernie won't even. Like, so I think just calling her on it, and the thing what it'll do, you just gave Tulsi's going to get a bunch of press on this.
Yeah.
And you get to back the Clintons into a corner.
I think that is a great point, and I don't necessarily, I don't disagree with that, but I do think that, this is in the cycle right now. It's going to be a helpful thing, and she is calling it out, which is awesome. However, if she pulls a W out of this, that's going to amplify it by a lot.
Yes.
So yes, I think that's a great point. I don't disagree with it, but I think it's like, let's try for the W too.
No, I agree. I want her to win.
I really wanted her to win. So it's like, let's recognize the fact it's going to be hard. It's not unattainable, or a lawyer wouldn't have been touching it in the first place. So, but I'm hoping she pulls a victory here.
Here's a quick little online poll with Stand with Tulsi. 23,000 votes, 80% support Tulsi Gabbard's decision to sue Hillary Clinton for defamation over her Russian asset comments. Right? And this is it. For years, just to show you who Tulsi Gabbard is, I want to talk about, she's the only candidate in the field that has spoken up for Julian Assange, saying he needs to be pardoned. So when this happened to Glenn Greenwald 2 days ago, or yesterday really, for years, Greenwald has exposed abuses at the highest levels of government, and his investigative journalism deserves our support. If we allow the powerful to silence such journalists, our democracy and freedom is in peril. I stand with Greenwald. Why this is significant is, look, WikiLeaks and the Podesta emails showed the corruption of Hillary and the Democratic Party, and all Hillary has said is Russia, 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 Russia. So then she tried to tie Tulsi to Russia. What Tulsi Gabbard is saying, this is the powerful elites, which are the Clintons, want to silence anyone that calls out their lies and their crimes, which is so significant. So I think this lawsuit, yes, if she wins, and I hope they do whatever they can, I hope her legal team, and they're going up against the Clintons, who are just decade-long liar weasels.
They're a machine.
And they're not even like good litigators. No, they're going to threaten people. They're going to, one of Tulsi's lawyers might slip and fall on a bag of knives. You know what I mean? Like, this is how the Clintons fucking operate. They're fucking evil. They're awful, evil people, right? That's why they've been to Jeffrey Epstein's compound and all that. I'm gonna get to that in a second. But I think what this fight is gonna open up a bigger look at how awful, because who's ever called Hillary a bully? Who's ever called her a bully? A bully. She is a bully. Hillary plays the sexist card. If a man goes up, oh, she plays that card. Another woman, a woman of color that's a veteran, is calling Hillary a bully. That is significant. Our society doesn't call women bullies enough.
Right. Yeah. Well, women like Hillary. But yeah,
Right.
look, it's powerful too, because it's uniting progressives. You know, the smears did work for a while, and a lot of even progressives were attacking Tulsi. But now what I've seen online and on Twitter, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I've seen the Bernie-crats and the Tulsi-crats be like, hey, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, because she did this after Hillary got caught trying to smear Bernie and agreeing with Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren went on trying to smear Bernie. And then there was Joe Biden. And so all of these people and progressives are like, who has stood by Bernie's side every single time and defended him, even back in 2016 till now? That's Tulsi Gabbard. And so people are seeing that. And so attacking Hillary where he isn't going there and he can't, in a way,
Right.
Is pretty much it's perfect.
This
is how it should
You're right,
be.
because if Bernie attacks Hillary, he's a sexist, he's a sore loser, he's a blah, blah, blah. All that crap comes out. What are you going to call Tulsi Gabbard? A sexist?
Yeah.
You know,
a racist?
a racist, exactly. She hates rich white women?
I was talking to a friend of mine, and it was funny. We had lunch together, and we were, just talking politics, and we were talking about like Bernie and stuff like that, and then we were just going through all the issues. And when Tulsi came up, my friend was like, I'm not a Tulsi fan. I was like, well, there's a lot of things I like about her. Here's what they are, and blah, blah, blah. And we kind of talked about it. And then when this hit the news, that friend texted me a screenshot of the headline and was like, I'm starting to come around to her. I wasn't sure about her, but the things she said, in this, I'm starting to come around.
Some great things have happened the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Warren doing that was actually a good thing, because up to that point, it was Bernie and Warren are the progressives.
Yeah.
No, they're not. This showed, Warren's a liar. People on CNN and MSNBC are saying she's not honest. I saw a CNN report, an MSNBC reporter say, Bernie, there's a lot to be, that he's offensive, calling Bernie offensive. But Warren hasn't been honest about everything.
Oh, Michael Moore's podcast is, Jimmy actually recommended it to me, and that's why I listened to it, because Jimmy was like, you gotta listen to that. So I listened to it. And yeah, if you guys haven't, listen to Michael Moore's podcast about Liz Warren.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, and the way he does it is so perfect, because he's not trying to pretend like he's just some outsider. Like he acknowledges, he's like, I work with these people now. I collaborate with them. That's the circle I'm in now. Mm-hmm. Like he acknowledges that, and he tells his story from his perspective, where it's like, I kept giving this person all these little benefits of the doubt.
Yeah.
Where she wasn't totally honest about what her dad did. She wasn't totally honest about her heritage. She wasn't honest. And he goes down the list, and he's like, oh, man, the wool was over my eyes. It's a beautiful podcast.
It's great he admits it.
It's a beautiful podcast.
Because he was a huge proponent of Warren for the longest time.
And now he endorsed Bernie, and he talks about that. He's like, I was for Bernie, and here's why I'm for Bernie. And he really feels great about his choice now, because it's a perfect podcast about that topic.
Look, it's like what happened in October. When Hillary called Tulsi a Russian asset, that was a gift, because then Tulsi called her a warmonger and got 2 weeks of free ads. Mm-hmm. She got all these interviews. Then AOC backs Bernie, which is another slam dunk in your identity politic face. Mm-hmm. And so now Hillary can't help herself. She can't help herself. She is just a sociopath. She's a narcissist. She cannot handle the fact that either a woman or Bernie Sanders could be president. Another woman could be the first woman president. Yeah. She can't handle that.
And she unintentionally helps all these things.
I know.
Look, I don't want to start a conspiracy theory, but I mentioned this on Get Your News On with Ron. It's worth repeating. We've never seen Andy Kaufman and Hillary Clinton in the same room. I'm just going to leave it there. We've never seen them in the same room. At first I thought, well, maybe it's Trump. Nah, that'd be too obvious.
Well, so this is a gift, because now Warren doing that shows, no, Bernie and Warren are not the same. Bernie, the thing about people like, I don't know about Bernie's policies. He's too old and this and that. But you ask all of them, is he honest? They go, yeah.
Yeah, he's a straight shooter.
I was talking with someone who's like, well, maybe Mayor Pete, and they're they're an Obama neoliberal friend of mine, and they at the end of the debate, talking to them, they went, I'll give you this, Bernie's uncorruptible, and that I give him credit for, and I was like, and now this happens, right? So now Hillary says that nobody likes Bernie, which just blew up in her face. Yeah. All these endorsements, Tulsi Gabbard, all these women, all these endorsements, and now this. Yeah. This is actually what's like. And Bernie needs to show a little public love to Tulsi. He needs to say something like Tulsi's, like give some like she might be my VP something. He needs to do that because she keeps getting his back time and time again. And then Hillary did this. Then she backpedals. Yes. I thought everyone wanted my authentic, unvarnished views. But to be serious, the number one priority is this world of support. That's you backpedaling because you said in an interview you'd back Trump over Bernie. That's what happened. Yeah. So I just happened to tweet a question. Can you authentically tell us why you flew on Epstein's plane 2 times? Bill 26, stayed at his compound in New Mexico and had Ghislaine Maxwell attend your daughter's wedding 2 years after she settled out of court for being a pedophile sex trafficker?
And then Graham got reported as a Russian.
Now, only 2,700 people have liked it, and it's only had 606 retweets, which is pretty big numbers for me. But just to be clear, when Hillary, I know she's a proud feminist. That's why she had a pedophile sex trafficker at her daughter's wedding. There's Ghislaine Maxwell, who Virginia Roberts, in a sworn deposition, I want to make this clear. Virginia Roberts, who's now Virginia Roberts Giuffre or whatever, however you pronounce her married name. She didn't say this in an interview. She didn't say this on social media. She said in a sworn deposition, which means under penalty of perjury, you have to tell the truth. And she said that Ghislaine Maxwell raped her and trafficked her. 2 women made that accusation. And Ghislaine Maxwell settled out of court. Now, I don't know about you or any of our viewers, but if someone accused me of something I did not do, I would not settle out of court, especially if I was rich and powerful. I'd go, what'd you accuse me of? We're going to court. Guilty people that are rich and want a problem about their awful behavior to go away, settle out of court. Yep. Mm-hmm. And let's also not forget this. Hillary Clinton defends Harvey Weinstein accusation. How could we have known? I love it when she does this. Man. She's so strong, and I've been fighting in a boys' club, and then she goes, oh, golly gee, I'm just a girl. I didn't know my husband was raping girls on Epstein's plane 26 times. I didn't know. When all these women who accused Bill Clinton in the 80s, who was the attorney that went after those women? Oh, it was her. So, wake up. If you're a feminist, good. This is your hero? It's like if you're a foodie and Jeffrey Dahmer's your hero. I don't know. Oh my God, write down that joke.
Dude, that's a funny joke.
Okay, I got to put that joke in my act. Remind me.
Yeah, that's a joke. That's
remind me.
Joke.
Taylor, if you're still watching this, remind me.
Write down that joke.
Write down that joke. Aaron, write down that joke. That's going in my act.
You got to try that on Saturday.
I'm going to do that Saturday night in
Progressive Comedy Tour. These are the types of jokes that you will hear.
Ron and I.
Jokes that will never be able to go on network TV ever. In the history of ever.
I hope not.
That you'll only hear on Progressive
One
Comedy
of the things with the Progressive sidebar, since that joke was so fucking awesome, I just popped into my mind. Oh, it was beautiful. It's like when a ball just comes right across the plate and you just get it with the bat and you just know it's a home run as it's leaving the bat. Never played baseball, not since I was 12. But anyway, my point is, Progressive Comedy Tour, this is the thing Ron and I are making it. We've talked about this, an active point in 2020 of more when we come up with jokes like this on panel or in conversation or on Twitter, they're going in the act. So even if you've seen us before, there's going to be a bunch of stuff you haven't seen before, and it's going to be even more political than it was anyway.
That's it's totally new sets for 2020. So
2020, you know. But how could we have known? I know, how could you have known Kissinger helped escalate the war in Vietnam? How could you have known that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was murdering? How could you have known when you helped the Secretary of State Obama start the war in Yemen? How could you have known?
Speaking of the we've been talking a lot today about the joy of like when videos get reshared. There's a video that's been reshared recently of Harvey Weinstein calling Bernie Sanders a sexist.
Oh my God, no way. I haven't seen that.
In 2016, Harvey Weinstein calls Bernie Sanders
Wow.
because it was like a big Hillary thing that he did, and he said Bernie Sanders is sexist.
Oh my
and that's
God.
just like, this aged well.
This aged really well. Harvey Weinstein, whose campaign did he donate to? Oh, that's right, Hillary's campaign.
That's
How
right.
could she have known?
Mm-hmm. How could she have known?
How could she have known?
How?
When your
Courtney Love knew.
Oh.
Courtney Love knew. She said stay away from Jeffrey Epstein. She said that years ago. Everyone in Hollywood knew.
Wow.
Hillary Clinton. How could anyone have known?
She couldn't have
Talk
known.
to anyone who wrote in Hollywood in the 90s.
Yeah.
They all knew Harvey Weinstein was up to
Paltrow.
crazy stuff.
Her brand of feminism has fallen entirely apart. Like, I went to the Women's March just to kind of see what was going on, and it has gotten so much smaller. There's not that many people in attendance, and people who were wearing Bernie shirts were being cheered. They were like, "Oh, thank you for being here." So Hillary's brand of like, "Oh, I'm a nasty gal. I'm a representative of that," is completely tarnished because of her inconsistency. Because of her hypocrisy regarding especially Weinstein. I mean, her relationships with these people who have, I think it's Podesta's brother is some sort of artist. And you mentioned Dahmer. He collects weird paintings. I don't know if you've ever looked it up, but it's really disturbing. Like sculptures and paintings of half children, half demon. And oftentimes these children are like demonic. But he has a sculpture of the Dahmer, the body that was found that was like stitched together with the skin of people. This guy was a huge lobbyist to Clinton. These types of people. I know, this is like, it's like a real
I hadn't
thing.
heard about this.
It's a real thing. It's the weirdest thing. But what I'm saying is like Hillary Clinton has, this circle of people that are just disgusting and corrupt.
I mean, we could spend hours going on. We could go down just talk about Haiti and the Clinton Foundation in Haiti. That's a 1-hour video. Like, I'm just unpacking that. It's unbelievable. And that people like, it's time. And I think honestly, like everyone's finally waking up. 527 people watching. Cat B, Tulsi is on Tucker Carlson to discuss why she is suing Hillary Clinton. Brilliant strategy. Yes, she's going on Fox News.
Yeah.
That's why Tulsi's numbers are gonna they're gonna go up, and Bernie needs to pick. I mean, I love Nina as a VP. I love that.
I don't think she wants the gig.
I don't think she wants the gig either.
I mean, that's part of it. Like, I don't think she wants. I want Nina Turner to be president someday.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm saying, however she wants to go about it, I'm with her.
Yeah. Hashtag I'm with her.
I'm with her.
But thanks for pointing that out, Cat B. And Cat B, I know you posted on Twitter today that your mom passed away, so we're all thinking of you, Cat. Fan of the show, and your tweet about her transitioning to the other side. I'm paraphrasing. It was really sweet. It was really a really wonderful, touching view of like death, which is going to happen to all of us, and how to deal with that. So I really appreciate that.
Sending you all the best.
Yeah, show Cat some love, everybody. Show Cat some love.
All the best, Cat.
And the naughty vegan. Ooh, naughty. $2 for Graham's vegan superfood pack. If the vegan...
The naughty vegan. You want to put that cucumber where?
Ooh.
Oh. All right.
Ooh, do you want to lick vegan whipped cream off of me?
Whoa. Show's getting a little...
Sorry, got a little hot there. Brent McKinney, boom. Fiorella, Ron, Graham, right on. Thank you, Brett. That was fantastic.
Brett,
boom.
right on.
Boom. Brett, boom. Knuckle shaving. Gunstar 1, thank you so much for supporting the show. 2 questions. Did you hear about the Maxwell email leak? And when are you, Sam Tripoli and Tim Dillon, doing an Epstein episode of Tinfoil Hat? Make sure Tim dresses as Epstein's temple. Yes, we did briefly talk about the Maxwell email leak. All 3 of us don't know any more than just that emails were leaked. We don't know what was on them. I don't know if there's more information out there. If there is, somebody send me a link, because I will do a video on that, because I want to know what's on those. We all do. But just whoever has that hard drive, don't walk home like Seth Rich did, because you'll get Clintoned. Watch out. the royal family has no problem taking people out. They've been doing this for centuries. They're trying to protect Prince Andrew. If there's too much information on Prince Andrew that will make the Buckingham Palace look bad, he's going to slip and fall on a bag of knives. Like he will. Trust me on that one. That's how that look. When they denied Epstein's bail, I was like, when he was going to trial, when they first busted him, I go, they're either if they give him a slap on the wrist like they did 10 years ago, then he's got free and they're going to just give him some work release nonsense. I go, but if they deny his bail, that means they're like, he's become a liability and we're going to kill him, which is what they did. That Prince Andrew interview shows he was like, Buckingham Palace told him to get the fuck in that chair and distance yourself from Epstein and distance us from you and Epstein. That's what that interview was, and it imploded, and that's why he hasn't done any he hasn't done any public anything since that came out in whatever 2-3 months ago.
Yeah.
So
he's trying to get his sweat glands back.
I know. He lost him in the war run.
Once he can cry again.
Yeah, and try to find that bar that he's only been to like 10 times. You know what I mean? Like he's just trying to figure that out, and and think about why he was too honorable.
He's got a to-do list.
Uchida Oganomi. I know I'm butchering that. I apologize. Ours are better at appealing to fear than D's are appealing to our desire for fairness and peace. But at least Republicans appeal to something. We don't owe D's our votes. They owe us truth and action. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
They're really good at keeping their base
You don't owe
scared.
anyone your vote.
Yeah.
It's a politician's job to earn your vote, to come get your vote.
Yeah. This vote any blue will do. I've never been a part of that. The people that got mad at us for voting for Jill Stein, and I was like, you let Trump win. No, I didn't. I know how the Electoral College works.
Yeah.
And B, you have to earn my vote. You have to earn my vote. Like, would you do that with like, hey man, you better just eat at McDonald's because that's our restaurant. That's America's restaurant. You just need to eat there. Well, no, I don't like that. I'm tired of that. It's like sports fans, like, telling me you need to root for your home team. No, I don't. They put a shitty team on the field.
Yeah, you get to choose. You can root for whoever you want.
You root for whoever you want. I'm not going to do it. Owen Johnson. Thank you, Owen. Nina Turner would make Mike Pence cry in a debate. Oh, yes.
Oh, it'd be so awesome.
He would be afraid.
So would Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, Tulsi.
Oh, man. Tulsi Gabbard would humiliate
Both of them on the
him.
administration would make all of them cry.
You look at that real quick. A Tulsi Mike Pence VP debate.
Oh, it'd be epic.
It would be epic. It would get red staters to jump out of their chair and vote for that ticket.
Yeah.
It would get independents to go, I'm in. It would like all the people who are just like fiscal conservatives that are like, I'm so tired of the evangelicals hijacking the party, they would be like, Tulsi. They would, yeah.
Yeah.
Kilkenny B, shave 'em. Granny Petrol says, you are just a bunch of punks that want free shit from the wind. Greta, stop stealing the sun with your solar panels.
The wind doesn't owe you anything.
You want free school and free wind? That's all you want.
The wind blew a house on some of my friends.
Oh, fuck Kilkenny. That was goddamn fantastic. Megan Morales. What's up, Megan? Bernie apologizing for Z. To somebody.
Oh, I was saying hi to her. I know her.
Oh, okay. Oh, what's up, Megan? Bernie apologizing for ZT's piece attacking Biden is more infuriating when you realize he undercut one of his key surrogates at a time when he's stuck in DNC for impeachment, and he needs them to step up now more than ever before Iowa, New Hampshire. That's a great point, Megan.
Yep. I 100% agree. I mean, because Zephyr Teachout is a lawyer, and she knew what she was saying, and everything, if you've read the article, was factual. It was basically data. It was policy. It wasn't like she was, Biden is a senile guy who just like says malarkey. She was just being very, very kind almost. I would have written something much more scathing, but what she said was fact.
And it was all focused on policy. I mean, exactly. People were like, well, he needs to appear impartial in the hearing and stuff like that. And he said, yeah, but her thing wasn't about Hunter or anything like that. Her thing was about concerns about his electability. Like, there's no, I mean, the apology was a mistake. Yeah. It was a mistake.
I think we're all unanimous in that.
Jameson, don't shave him for justice. Please collab with Dave Anthony on Dollop or your show. Yeah, absolutely. We'll get Dave.
That'd be great.
I know Dave.
Gareth's in Australia right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Gareth's touring Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
How is that going?
I mean,
fires and everything.
I texted with him not too long ago. I mean, he got there safe and it's going okay. And yeah, I think the shows have been good. And I think he's doing a thing where like some of his merch is going to some fire benefits. So
good.
So yeah,
I know all the we've talked about it, a bunch of the comics that we know down in Australia are doing benefits for that,
which is really cool. I mean, it sucks what's happening, obviously, but it's cool that some people are fighting the good fight.
MK, shave your knuckles for justice. Keep up the fight, all. It's so great to hear truth to power, and you guys are doing an amazing job sticking it to the liars at the top who are working overtime. At the moment, lots of love from Milwaukee. Ooh, we'll see you there.
See you July 12th.
Bye, kiddo. We'll be there. Occupy Milwaukee. Somebody just put right on.
We'll see what happens, you guys.
Yeah, right on. People are talking about. All right, just checking through the regular stream. Good to see everybody talking and doing their talkity talks. Email, this is from Jilly Love 100. Email leaked Andrew asking Jillian what she knows about Jew-free. Okay. Why didn't I ever know? Yeah. Right. Maxwell email leak was covered by Crystal Ball on the Hill today. Okay, I haven't seen that yet. That's good to know. Right on. Come to Philly. Oh, Ron, when are we going to Philly?
We're going to be in Philly August 15th. Tickets are available now. Romplacone.com, GrahamElwood.com.
Boom.
It's like a machine.
Dude, it's like we really wanted to like nail this tour down as soon as we could because we know it's 2020. It's an election year. We got to hit the road. We got to hit it hard. We got to make our plans. So, all December and January, we were just like, let's get this in. So, yes, August 15th, Philadelphia.
Yes. Hoot Burns. I saw them in concert. They were amazing. Fee streaming with Ron and Graham is the crossover we never knew we needed. Keep up the good work, y'all. Bernie/Tulsi 2020.
Hoot.
Nice.
You're awesome, Hoot.
Thanks, Allie.
Hoot. Yeah, like I said, and I said this at the beginning, and this is I'm trying to do. I'm trying to come in this studio at least once a week and have more panel discussions because I don't have this type of a setup in my apartment. I'm still doing videos in my apartment and stuff like that, but I want to do this more because it's I dig it. You guys love it. It's great having these other voices here, and I come up with better jokes when there's people to bounce them off of. Louise Brooks, what's up, Louise? Got my ticket for the DC show. So excited.
Nice.
When
See you there, Louise.
DC?
We'll be in DC August 14th.
Yeah.
And Richmond, Virginia, August 13th. That was just confirmed.
Right on.
Yeah.
Louise, those dates you just sent me today, I haven't put them up on my website yet.
All right, so go to romplacone.com for the most up-to-date tour dates. Grandma was a little slower.
I know.
It's like I'm the on the ground media, and Graham is NPR when it comes to getting the tour dates.
You just okay boomer him.
So romplacone.com. Get the most.
Okay, boomer. I add them to my website through my rotary phone. I go to the yellow pages and then I dial them and then they go right to my
Romplacone.com for tickets, or if for some reason you need to go to Graham 330-330-50.net, go there.
Text Graham Corn Pop tour dates. I'm going to a series of public swimming pools throughout America, so please check that out. Go to Ham Radio.
Ham Radio, GrahamTheLifeguard.org, and get your ticket.
Corn Pop 2020. Louise Brooks again. Shout out to Fiorella. She speaks the truth. Love her.
Thanks, Louise.
Yes, we love Fiorella too. Jameson Doan. No, he's not even in the race. Other is at 37%. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Jameson.
Other?
Oh, so they did this. I think it was ABC News.
All right, I remember that at the same time. They did that poll where like they didn't put Bernie's name in it.
They put everybody else's name and then they put other.
And
37%.
Other one.
And other one.
It was like, yeah, Bernie Sanders. It's so ridiculous. Like, they're not
I'm
even
voting
trying
for
to hide
president
it.
other. That's who I want.
Anybody, 37% other than these idiots.
Yeah.
That's so fantastic. Thank you, Jameson. Artificial morphosman, shave your knuckles for justice. I was bummed when Bernie apologized to Biden and threw Teachout under the bus, an expert on corruption, but I will still back him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he screwed up. He made a
screwed up.
mistake.
This
And
is
he's going to make other mistakes.
He's going to do
you know.
things like this because Bernie, still plays nice. And, the reason he didn't run as an independent after they cheated him in 2016 is he didn't want to get ostracized. Had he done that, they would have kicked him out the way they did Nader. Nader, Nader used to have a lot of influence, and Bernie wants to still be on committees and do all this stuff and have a say and look for right or for wrong, agree with it or don't. That's how he's good. I'll say Bernie is being fairly consistent. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like, this is how he operates.
Well, and I think he genuinely sees, the dangers of 4 more years of Trump.
Yeah.
I think he didn't want to see it the first time. He certainly doesn't want to see it this time. And I think he knows, like, oh, they might cheat me.
And let's remember, he's running a campaign, so it's not just his input. To be honest, it's the input of those surrounding him, whether he's being advised, because his press team were the ones who shared that and were letting that out while he was apologizing. So obviously there's some inconsistencies when you run a huge campaign that are going to happen. So that's part of
and
it.
we've talked about it before. I wouldn't doubt if the intelligence community, the deep state, the Democratic establishment has planted people in his campaign to try to knock it off the rails. I wouldn't doubt that. I have no evidence to support that, other than just when I see things, I'm like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
And again, like you say, it's not just Bernie making these decisions. There's a team of people.
Yeah.
And you got to go, because of course, if they see him as a threat, which they do, they're going to put someone in his campaign.
But after the public outcry, because I know a lot of my friends who are hardcore burners were messaging him, complaining to him, then they released that video with the Social Security thing. And I thought that was an amazing pivot, because then it's like, okay, this is what we want. Bernie, this is the Bernie we want, his base wants, right? But it was done in a way, like Ron said, that was so specific on policy, and it was also Joe Biden attacking Joe Biden.
Yeah.
So it works.
Well, that's the thing too about Bernie and Tulsi, because they don't take corporate money, they're not billionaires, and even people like AOC, they actually listen to their constituents.
Right.
They listen to their base, and that's why it is important for us to say, hey, Bernie,
Exactly.
don't do this, do this. It's important for us to say, like, Bernie, say you're going to pardon Julian Assange.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I want to hear that. That's important to me. Like, like when Bernie was like, Maduro's a bad guy, and we all went, no, and we pushed him on that, and he came back and said, no, this isn't, he changed on that one.
He did.
So it's like, that's why we all love him so much, and Tulsi, because when they do things, either one of them, that I don't agree with, I know that they it's not some like scammy Liz Warren,
it's like
reason. They made a decision. They thought, they listened to their staff, and they also went, well, this is what I believe, this is what I'm going to do. They're not just like opportunists or whatever. And you go, I don't know, I would agree with that or this or that, but we can sit here and Monday quarterback this thing all the way into November.
Right.
And we'll see if it was right or wrong, And so, anyway.
No. Yeah.
Jameson, don't. Thank you, Jameson. I see fights regarding nuclear power on your live streams. I'm soon to be physics grad, friends working in fusion research. I'd love to set records straight. Can I email you? Yes, you can. I would like to know more about that, because I'll just say this up front. I'm not a fan of nuclear power. They're releasing, radioactive water. Japan is releasing radioactive water.
Yeah.
And so if you can tell me as a physicist how your fusion stream is better, I'll listen. But just know yes, you can email me, Jameson, and I'll give you a fair shot, but just know I'm coming at this from a why. Why are we doing this when there's all this green energy that is already working, and when a solar panel breaks, it doesn't contaminate the water for thousands of years.
Right.
So just know that.
We have San Onofre here.
Yeah, we have San Onofre. I surf down near San Onofre, and it's like it's gnarly. Yeah. And what if that breaks? What if there's a major earthquake? Like what happened in Japan in 2011, like that affected friends of mine that live in Japan. So you better pitch a pretty good argument, man. I'm not going to be a dick, but I'm just going to, I have a clear-cut agenda on that. So I'll be fair with you, Jameson, and I appreciate the show, and I'll let you speak. I'll let you listen, and we'll do a video on it.
And that email address again is graham330
cornpop.leghair.weirdo.roachpool. I think it's /malarkey.
No.
I don't know. Anyway, call my Yellow Pages number. We'll get the tour dates up to speed. Dude is priest again. I think that wins the day of
that's
of
pretty good
names.
screen name.
The economy is great. That's because I have to work 2 jobs. The way I can do the other part, eat. Great. Yeah, I know.
Right.
That's great. That's
George Bush would say that's wonderful. Isn't that great? Isn't that uniquely American? So great you're doing that. 2
So
jobs. You need to do that to survive. That's great.
fantastic. Glory Jones.
Glory.
Boom. What's good, Fee? Are you all excited for the Assange forum at UCLA?
Oh, yes. Yes. I think Pasta told me about that. Yeah, that's awesome. I honestly know that Pasta has been trying to get Bernie to answer a question. And if we ever get the chance during this time that we're in New Hampshire or if I'm in Iowa, I would absolutely ask him, like, can you please answer if you're going to pardon Assange? Because that's the one weakness where I feel like a lot of these people that are Tulsi supporters really value that. Pasta himself, I'm a civil liberties guy, and I'm not dismissing the importance of it. I think it's very important based on the fact that if we are not getting the right information, if we're being lied to, then how are we gonna vote the right way? How are we gonna stand up to the establishment if our voices are being completely squashed out? So I do see the importance in that.
Well, it's so interesting too how so many people in government have spoken out for Glenn Greenwald, which is great. I'm thrilled about that.
Yeah.
But you can't help but notice, and again, it's great. I'm not trying to say it's not, because, totally support Glenn Greenwald, totally support Julian Assange. It's interesting that when other countries are doing it, we're quick to point the finger. We know how to point the finger. Hey, look at what Brazil's doing. It's an assault on press freedom. Absolutely it is. But what about when we do it? How about when we do it too? And Bernie has been consistent on the Espionage Act, which is good.
Yes.
That's great. But he hasn't been specific on Julian Assange, and I'm waiting for that too. And I think he's gotta, he's gotta make that pivot.
Is our stream doing okay? Because it's like I'm seeing a wheel on my page. Are we good, Aaron? I'm seeing that wheel too. Yeah, and just because all of a sudden the numbers plummeted by like 100.
Oh, Magoo.
Well, we said
Okay.
Assange.
Okay. Yeah, so
Sometimes YouTube causes a
yeah.
lag.
Action for Assange. Abuses of power in the West are often used to abuse powers elsewhere in the world. Yeah, we've basically given Brazil a green light to go do this, which is part of the problem. So the Assange thing, I believe, is Jameson, send it to info@grahamelwood.com. I guess it's back up. I don't know. Maybe it went down for a second. But we gotta wrap up here. We've been yammering for a while. 2.5 hours. Oh boy. Wait. Wow. Sorry. All right. Let me bang through these. Glory Jones. Oh wait, don't talk about the Assange thing at U4. I'm sorry I did that. That's and I believe it's the weekend of February 8th. I think it's when we're in Tucson.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So, but if you're in LA, please go to that.
Yeah, definitely go to that.
Harry C. Smith, serious question. Have you guys met one single person who's on Team Klobuchar? Haven't heard her speak once except no free college. Yeah, I don't know anyone that's a Klobuchar.
Yeah, I don't know any Klobuchar fans.
I don't know any of them personally. Mberg 33, boom. Tulsi did preempt the Clinton defense in the lawsuit file. Find the file online, please. Okay. Nice. Dude is priest. Wait, what? Hillary is a woman, and all that time I was certain she was a troll. Haha, that's funny. Jason V, shave your knuckles for justice. I say in South Carolina, Tulsi sitting by Bernie was a hint. Oh.
Well, and then there was that greeting line where he kind of he shook everyone's hand. I mean, he was polite, Bernie, but he hugged Tulsi.
Okay.
There was that too.
Okay.
Where it's
good.
he shook everyone. He was polite, but then he hugged Tulsi.
Did you guys hear the audio exchange?
No.
Okay, so it's on my Twitter, but it was basically Bernie saying, "Okay, Elizabeth, we're gonna shake hands because the whole world is obsessed with this handshake." So, and she's all like, "What?" Elizabeth, she's like,
He said that?
and yeah, and then he shakes her hand, and Tulsi's like in the middle like this, and then she's like, that's the handshake heard around the world, and then Bernie's like, but you're gonna be world famous for it, and it was like an interesting exchange, and Bernie was like shaking Liz's hand like in almost like sarcastic, like here, let's do this so the media can just stop talking about it. That's very Bernie like.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting, Tulsi being there in the middle in between Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. It was just a weird exchange. But you should listen to it.
I will.
Harry C. Smith, shave your knuckles for justice. Did you know that there are at least 17 security clearance levels above the POTUS? And could be as many as 34 levels? Yeah, God, I know.
Wow.
That's the permanent
I didn't know
state.
that.
Yeah, of course. That's why it doesn't matter, who's the president if you can't stop the intelligence.
That doesn't make
community.
sense to me.
Right. That's how
You're
they
the president. You're
Yep.
the commander in chief. How are there going to be so many security level? Like, what?
That's why, look, we've talked about this before, but electoral politics is important. But if we just, hey, Bernie wins, yay.
Yeah.
No way.
No,
we have to put so much pressure and outside of the election system.
Dude, I hope Bernie wins. But if Bernie wins, we all get to celebrate for a day.
A day.
And
then it starts.
Yes.
Then it is day one. It's like if Bernie wins, it's like, okay, now we have a chance to
Yes.
start getting some things done.
Just-
And Bernie's only going to be as powerful as the movement behind him.
Yeah.
If you expect Bernie to just take on all of Congress by himself without being able to say, look outside.
yeah.
And the intelligence community. And the billionaires.
And the MIC. I mean,
Yeah.
oh
and
yeah,
not to
totally.
mention the presidency ages everybody
Right.
so
Yes.
quickly, and he's not a young spring chicken, you know what I mean? And so whoever is behind him, that's why it's so
huge.
important. I don't think a VP position has been ever as important as it is
No.
now, maybe since
Yeah.
the time of FDR and Wallace. This is it. This is that point where whatever happens, Bernie's on that older side. Whoever replaces him can't be an Elizabeth Warren,
No
or
way.
we're screwed.
It has to be. That's why his whole cabinet and the whole chain of command has to be one young, lean progressive after another.
Exactly.
Because they have to. Because they're either going to try to kill him, or they're going to run him to death, or they're going to we're going to have a false flag attack, and he's going to be thrown into some vault where he can't do anything, or whatever. Man, they're not going to give up this power easy.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not. So. Kawhi LPS, YouTube star. Thank you, Kawhi, for supporting the show. Hero Cheesema. Nice. Shave your knuckles for justice. Do you guys think the people who still support Trump are still made up of people who fell for his phony populism in 2016 and racists and trolls, or just racists and trolls now? I think but even when he won, die-hard Nazi, they were still a small percentage.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of people, 85% of the people that voted in 2016 did it as the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that means a big chunk of his voters, just like for Hillary, said lesser of two evils. So they were wanting something else. In all those states we talked about earlier that voted for Bernie in the primary and then voted for Trump in the general. There's all those people that were like, oh, I just can't vote for the Clintons or a Democrat or Hillary or whatever.
There's also the people that thought he was going to be a non-interventionist and an outsider, but he has been anything but that. And they have come to realize, oh, maybe I can't vote for Trump. I'll see if there's anybody else. So we'll see who's opposing him.
And
You
I
know
think
what
a
mean?
lot of those people have left him.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that camp that were like, well, he's saying he's non-interventionist. Maybe he really is this outsider. Yeah. I think a lot of those folks have already left him. I think some of the lesser of two evil people, they're kind of waiting to see what's going to sway us, and so I think there's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And then are there some people that are just straight up racist and he's their guy? Yeah, that's there too.
And those people aren't going to move.
And those people aren't going to move.
Then that's fine. You don't need them. They're a small fraction. They're not as big as you think. So you don't need them. Melissa H, what's up? Okay for Pence to be alone on stage with a woman?
Tulsi, I don't think she's going to tolerate any crap from Pence.
I know. He's going to outlaw lunch with women if he becomes president. Owen Johnson, thank you, Owen. You guys should reach out to Ingrid LaFleur and put her on the guest list for your Detroit show. Ideally, she'll be our next green Afrofuturist mayor. Okay, cool. Yeah, have her reach out to us or give us her campaign stuff. We love having candidates,
have her reach out.
Actual progressives, come to our live shows.
So they table at times and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Owen Johnson, Focus Fusion, met Eric Lemaire at OWS in 2011. Okay. Louise Brooks. Hello, Louise. My grandfather in law was nuclear physicist. If you invest the money to bake the water residue into glass bricks, it is containable, not perfect, but far better than stupid water containment tanks that don't outlast radioactivity. Great point. But again, we don't need to do any of this with green energy. We don't need to do any of this with green energy. There's no bad side effect. We don't need to do any of this. I appreciate that comment. And thank you for sharing it. It's knowledge I didn't have, but we still don't. I still come back to the same thing. Tisha T, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Do you think if Bernie is president, your YouTube content will be more important than ever as the media becomes more unreliable? Yes.
I hope so.
But it's also us making sure that they don't pull him to the center.
Oh,
yeah.
And holding him accountable and holding his cabinet accountable and not letting a fake ass fucking resist Democratic Congress or Senate say, yay, we won, and now we're going to pass all these bullshit laws that help the war machine.
Oh, yeah, because it's going to be up to us to be like, hey, this is who needs to be picked off and voted out.
Yes.
This is who you need to vote out.
Yeah, for sure. Jim Garrison, hi Fee, hi Grandma, what's up? And then the last one, Tisha T. Tisha, thank you so much for supporting the show. They will Stacey Abrams Bernie. The powerful will not relinquish power. Sorry, I don't mean to be a downer.
No, you're not a downer. I mean, it's
a reality. We
saw that Elizabeth Warren was at the top of the campaign's list initially with the Intercept article talking about how the Bernie campaign researched her being both the Secretary of Treasury and the VP. But she has since pretty much screwed that for herself. And if they pay attention, Stacey Abrams would absolutely not work. They're thinking like the centrist type of candidate is going to get Bernie the southern states. But what they're missing is the overall appeal of Stacey Abrams because of her connection to the Center for American Progress, because how she shifted back from a progressive into more of a centrist. It's just going to put people off. It's going to make people feel like she's just another, Bernie is like bowing down to the Democrats. Those Republican votes that he could get, I don't think would work well with somebody like Stacey Abrams. Knowing what I know about her.
And I think Bernie is actually doing a little bit better in the South than people are giving him credit for.
Absolutely.
I mean, there was that article that circulated today where there's that city councilwoman in South Carolina who was behind Biden. And then she realized, I was behind this guy because I think he seemed to be the most electable, but he's not, because he's not inspiring anybody.
Yeah.
You know who is inspiring people? Bernie Sanders. And she even said, she's like, I'm not some big progressive. I'm a centrist. Like I prefer centrist policies, but I want to beat Trump, and this is the guy. And that's a huge, when you have some of these blue no matter who people who by their own logic are now coming to Bernie. And they're saying, hey, I'm a blue no matter who person, so I want someone who can beat him. This guy's inspiring people. This clown car isn't. I'm going with this guy.
Yep.
This clown car. Tisha T, if Bernie wins, can we all go to D.C. when he gets sworn in? Yep.
I'm going.
We will go.
I'm going.
Yep. Artificial Morphosman, thoughts on Rashida Tlaib for Bernie's VP?
I'd be open to it.
Yeah?
I think she's a little polarizing myself.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think she does a lot of the identity politics. Trump is bad. All Republicans are bad situation. Some of her Palestinian people don't really like her either. But, I don't think she'd be the worst choice. I wouldn't think it would strategically be a good choice. But
I mean, I'm hoping Tulsi's my first choice for VP.
Yeah.
But, I'm open to good progressive.
All right, everybody. That is our show. Thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe. We had an amazing stream. We went for 2 hours and 40 minutes. We peaked at about over 500 people, which is awesome. As I always do, I will be taking clips of this and spreading them out throughout the week. And then this is always archived. The whole stream is always archived. And I'll put the whole audio from this on Patreon first. And then if you listen to me, I need more people listening to the actual audio podcast of all my videos. That's on iTunes. It's in the news section. It's not in the comedy section, the Political Vigilante podcast. Check that out. Share it. The more people that listen, the better. The more people that get the message out, the better. Like, share, and subscribe. See Ron Placone and I on the road. Go to ronplacone.com or Graham Elwood Ham Radio, CB Channel 5. But no,
Bunch of 2028s are out now. coming to
I'm
your
only
town.
2 dates off. There's 2 new ones that just happened today. I haven't put them up yet, but you can still go to grahamelwood.com. Follow me on social media. Fee, where can people follow you and see you online?
The Convo Couch YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're also on Rockfin, which is a great platform, on Twitter under the Convo Couch, and me on Twitter at Fiorella_IM. Thank you guys.
Ron, where can people see you?
At Ron Placone on Twitter, YouTube/Ron Placone. That's my YouTube channel. And RonPlacone.com for all those tour dates. Pretty much all of our 2020 dates are announced, so come see us on the road. We're coming to your city. And some of the immediate ones, Santa Clarita this Saturday.
25th of January.
25th of January, come on out. That's right here in Southern California. Tucson after that, February 8th. San Francisco, February 29th. Florida, Orlando, Tampa, Miami. That's March 12th, 13th, and 14th in those 3 cities. And then we're hitting the road really hard. We're doing the Northwest after that. We're doing the Midwest, Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit, Indianapolis.
We got dates going into October.
Yep. Minneapolis,
wow.
We're coming back in October. Madison, we're coming back in October. East Coast, we're coming to you in September. New York City, Boston. Portland, Maine, we're coming to the first time. Burlington, Vermont, we're coming to the first time. RonPlacone.com for all those tickets. Our 2020 dates are out now.
Yeah, follow us, guys. Come to the shows. It's a great way to get involved in your community and have a great night. And, we hang out and talk with everybody after the show. We'll do meet and greets for an hour. We've done all that. We love coming on the road. So join us on the road and get involved. And thank you for supporting the show. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. You are all making Gotham great again. Shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you, Taylor at Action for Assange, for moderating, and all of the super chatters. Love to Cat B. Shout it out.